Okay, the date is July 8th, 2021. The time is 16:35 hours. Present in the Internal Affairs Office are Brandon Lundgren, Attorney Brett Sherman, Sergeant Ray Villegas, and myself, Detective. The purpose of this meeting is to conduct an interview of Brandon Lundgren, who is an employee with the Sacramento Police Department in the capacity of police officer. This is an administrative investigation on the charges of conduct unbecoming an officer, discourtesy, discrimination, force, neglect of duty involving Brandon Lundgren. This is an administrative investigation only on these charges. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. However, since the allegations indicated that a crime may have been committed, I am advising you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court. You have the right to the presence of an attorney before and during any questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you free of charge before any questioning if you want. Do you understand each of these rights that I have explained to you?
I do.
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us now?
No.
Although you have a right to remain silent and not to incriminate yourself, your silence can be deemed insubordination and result in administrative discipline. Do you understand that based upon the authority vested in me by the Chief of Police, I am ordering you to answer all of our questions?
Yes.
Any statement made under compulsion of a threat of discipline cannot be used against you in a later criminal proceeding. However, if you do not answer our questions truthfully and fully, a charge of insubordination may be imposed, which could result in discipline up to and including termination. Do you understand this is an administrative investigation?
Yes.
Do you understand the allegations?
Yes.
Do you understand that I am ordering you to answer our questions and that if you do not answer them truthfully and fully, it could result in disciplinary action up to and including termination?
Yes.
Thank you. Prior to this interview, I provided you with a binder containing a trespass crime report. It's 20-301-386, a CAD call for 20-301-386, a CAD call for 301-442, your body-worn camera videos involving this incident, General Order 210.04, General Professional Conduct, revised date of 7/12 of 2017. General Order 340-01, revised date 5/3 of 17. General Order 527-05, Preliminary Investigations, revised date of 5/13 of 93. General Order 580.02, Use of Force, revised date of 5/2 of 18. General Order 523.06, Release under 849B, revised date of 1/12 of 96. General Order 540.05, Arrest, Booking Juveniles, revised date of 3/16 of 18. General Order 210.05, Bias-Based Policing, revised date of 6/5 of 17. SPD Form 114, Notice of Trespass. SPD 138, 849B form, Penal Codes 602 and 835, and GO 210.09, Racial and Identity Profiling Act, revised date of 11/27 of 18. Did you have enough time to review all this material?
Yes.
I'm going to start with a little background. For the record, can you please state and spell your full name?
Brandon Lundgren, BRANDON LUNDGREN.
And did you graduate from a police academy?
Yes.
And can you tell me what academy you graduated from?
The Yuba College Police Academy.
And what class was that?
I don't believe there was class numbers like the Sacramento Police Departments, but I graduated in 2016.
And so did you come to Sacramento Police Department as a lateral?
As a basic academy grad, yes.
Okay. And prior to coming over as a police officer, did you spend any time as a student trainee or CSO with Yuba County or here?
I worked for approximately 6 to 8 months as a level 2 reserve deputy for the Yuba County Sheriff's Department.
And prior to your time with Yuba County, did you have any prior law enforcement experience?
No.
During the time frame of October 10th, 2020, what was your assignment?
Patrol, south.
Would you agree that all Sacramento police employees are responsible for being knowledgeable and familiar with their general orders, department manuals, and training that they've received?
Yes.
While you were here as an officer with the Sacramento Police Department, have you received any training regarding implicit bias?
Yes.
So implicit bias training you received here.
I have received bias training, yes.
Okay, and was that through like CPT training or other type of departmental training?
Yes.
Okay. So have you been trained in bias-based policing and the differential treatment of individuals solely based on race, ethnic background, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, economic status, age, or cultural background?
Yes.
Have you been trained in racial profiling and the practice of detaining subject based on a broad set of criteria?
Yes.
Have you been trained in arrest procedures,
Yes.
juvenile law, and arrest procedures?
Yes.
And everything that you've learned here at the police department, you're responsible for knowing and understanding. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you have any other specialized training here at the police department?
For instance?
Any type of training in addition to like patrol, perimeter tactics, anything else other than just what you've learned through the academy and CPT?
I attended our in-house gang class.
So just one gang class is all you've had as far as extra training here?
Yes.
Okay. Anything?
Yeah. Have you received any training in crisis intervention?
Yes.
Okay. Anything in any type of communication training, like de-escalation or things like that?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that through?
CPT.
CPT? Okay.
Okay, I'm going to talk about your relationship with Officer Lawrence. What is your relationship with Officer Lawrence?
We've worked together for approximately a year and a half.
When you say work together, do you mean teamed up together?
We were on a patrol team for a year, and in 2020, and this year we share an overlap day on Fridays, but on separate teams.
Okay. And during that time that you were teamed up together, did you guys ride in the same vehicle?
Maybe a handful of times.
So you haven't worked with them more than a handful of times in the same car, like a partner?
Correct.
Okay. And so you've only worked with them for about a year and a half?
Yes.
Have you worked around him enough to understand his police officer working style, his style of working?
Yes.
Okay. And if you were evaluating him, how would you say he is as an officer?
I think he's a good officer.
Have you ever had any concerns about his work product?
No.
Have you ever had any concerns about how he treats the public?
No.
Have you ever seen him lose his cool or be unprofessional on a call?
No.
Have you ever heard anyone else talk poorly about his police work?
Not his police work.
Have you ever heard anybody else talk about his any reason to question his integrity?
No.
Do you have any reason question his integrity?
No.
While working with Officer Lawrence, if you're in the car with him and if he was doing something inappropriate, would you tell him?
Yes.
Okay. Were you on duty on October 10th, 2020 at 21:54 hours?
Yes.
And what was your identifier?
It was TAC 50.
And who was your partner that evening?
Connor Lawrence.
Were you in the same car with Connor?
Yes.
Were you responsible for the area of Delta Shores, which is 8136 Delta Shores Circle?
Yes.
Can you describe the area of Delta Shores?
Delta Shores is a relatively new shopping center in South Sacramento. It consists of big box stores, restaurants, and a movie theater.
Relatively large size, a lot of people.
Yes.
Okay. Open businesses.
Yes.
Can you describe some of the common issues at that location since you've been working in that area?
Some of the common issues are shoplifting, sideshows, other group gatherings, and just kind of normal crime that comes with big box stores.
And you said group gatherings. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Well, for the call that we went to that day, it was the second or third incident where a bunch of juveniles were getting together in that shopping center, specifically outside of the movie theater, and setting up fights and brawls amongst each other.
Okay. Has that been kind of a common theme out there?
I wouldn't say it's a common theme since the development first came in, but over the last few weekends prior to this, we had different areas around South Sacramento where kids were gathering to do such things as fighting and committing these types of crimes. Just happened day in question to be at Delta Shores.
Okay. And does this type of incident where people gather, does it affect the businesses out there in a negative manner?
Yes.
Can you tell me how?
For the call in question, there's so many juveniles out there fighting and causing issues that multiple businesses had to close early and lose revenue. We were experiencing phone calls from specific businesses and from security, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And what's the normal response to these types of problems out there, and how do you deal with them? Like, how is the police department dealing with these issues when they occur?
The biggest thing we go out there for are sideshows, like I mentioned, where it's a bunch of street racers and cars doing donuts and burnouts. And this is very different. But typically, we've been trying just to move them along. We're not going out there and blocking them in or necessarily taking enforcement action. It's more about clearing out the individuals that are not providing business to the businesses. And during this call, we went out there to try to just move the kids along.
So your goal when going out there is to try to get them off the property?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall hearing or seeing 2 calls for service at Delta Shores on October 10, 2020, around 21:09 hours?
I do remember that there were additional calls. I don't remember how many.
Okay. And for the record, I provided you with the CAT calls 20-301-386
Yes.
and 20-301-442. Are these the calls that you're referring to that occurred that evening?
Yes.
Okay. And it appears like that the 2 calls are similar in nature. Is that correct?
Yes.
After reviewing the CAD calls, does that refresh your recollection of this evening?
Yes.
Can you explain to me what the calls for service were? Can you kind of explain to me what the text read that evening?
Generally, it stated that there was a group of juveniles out in front of the movie theater that were causing issues, preventing shoppers from going into businesses, into the movie theater, into restaurants, and several of them were fighting.
And is there any in particular business that you're referring to?
If I recall correctly, it was the movie theater that was the primary.
And were you dispatched to this call?
Yes.
Can you recall if there were other officers that were dispatched to Delta Shores to deal with this issue as well?
Throughout the evening, there were multiple officers that were dispatched.
Do you remember some of the officers' names that were on that call, besides you and Officer Lawrence?
Yes, Officer Ford was there, Officer Kaiser, DRC, Toomey, Stevens, Calabrese, and I believe Nelson, but I'm not 100% sure on Nelson.
Okay.
There were additionals that, in reviewing body-worn camera footage, I did not recognize, and I still don't know who they are.
Okay. Do you know who the supervisor that was responsible for the area that evening? Who was that?
Sergeant Nick Fox.
Once you got out there, you and Officer Lawrence, what was your job?
Initially, our job was to get out there and assess the situation, see what we could do to help out the businesses out there that were calling. The call for service was to basically assist the movie theater in removing juveniles from their property so that they could conduct business.
Okay, so you responded to the call. Do you recall what time you arrived at the call?
I don't recall the specifics.
It's on the CAD call, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall approximate time? You can take a
It was
peek
like
if you want.
21:58 or something.
Okay,
Is that right?
That's close. That's so you responded around 21:58 hours, which is very close to the time frame. Did you contact any other officers when you responded out there?
When we first got there, we parked directly in front of the movie theater. And I believe the first officer that we contacted was Officer Ford.
And during your contact with Officer Ford, did you come up with a plan of what you guys were going to do that evening?
We had discussed, and I'm not sure if it was directly with Ford or not, that we were going to give announcements to disperse. Officer Lawrence went and spoke to the movie theater, kind of figure out, what their plan was and what they wanted from us. We knew that trying to trespass or 602 200 kids was virtually impossible. So we were trying to de-escalate and try to reason and kind of wait out the kids to make sure that they didn't continue to fight, hurt each other. So the plan was to give announcements, and we discussed doing that all the way up until 10 o'clock, which was curfew violation. And then at that point, at some point, we had talked to Sergeant Nick Fox, who advised us that after enough announcements, multiple businesses were calling in and security all requesting trespass notice, that we should get out and detain individuals. I believe Sergeant Fox said something along the lines of try to pick off the the aggressors. I don't think he didn't use the word aggressor, but the most let's just go with aggressive individuals from the crowd.
Okay, and we'll discuss that further in a little bit. When it comes to the 602 and the trespassing, is there a standing relationship with the security out there? Is there something that officers, when they go out there, do they know that they already have the businesses backing to have them 602 or trespass from the area?
We have a really good working relationship with Delta Shores and security. We discussed at one point, because they've given us access to their security cameras, and due to our working relationship, we weren't certain if we were actually agents of Delta Shores. We had that discussion, and so instead of making that assumption, we went and spoke to a security guard that said he would sign them if we detained.
Okay, so prior to detaining anybody, you spoke with a security guard who would advise that they would authorize a notice of trespass or be
Yes.
the agent.
Yes.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, you said there was multiple businesses calling in. Was that information added to the call or voice over the air? How did you get that information?
While we were out there, we went and spoke to a couple. Fire Wings is one of them. The movie theater, In-N-Out Burger, that were all kind of saying the same thing, that they're having a hard time doing business. The movie theater specifically said they had to close at 9:30, which their last showing is at I think 11:30, if I recall correctly. And that due to COVID, that they were actually closing their doors for good in the next week or two, and that they're really hurting for revenue. So they really need to stay open. And then security was on scene, kind of advising us the same thing, like, hey, multiple businesses around here, their normal-based customers that come in and eat there aren't able to find parking, can't drive through the roadways because they're just full of kids, and so they're not even coming.
Okay. So just making sure. So that was just the information you were receiving on scene?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to be showing you a series of body-worn camera video and have you explain certain areas of those videos, okay? And so you have 5 body-worn camera videos from that night that you started and stopped. And I'm going to use part of Officer Lawrence's body-worn camera as well throughout looking through these videos.
And just for the record, we haven't viewed those Lawrence body-worn cameras prior to this interview.
Noted. Okay. I'm going to start with your body-worn camera 1. And just for the record, this is 2020-10-11 T04:59:12 Exxon Body 2 X810-12289. Is this your body-worn camera for the night?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to play from the 30-second mark to the 43-second mark.
You guys need to leave now. What the fuck is going on here? How many of these fucking kids you think are drinking lean and shit?
Okay, paused at 43-second mark. It appears that you are driving around and possibly on the loudspeaker advising people to leave. Is that correct?
I was not on the loudspeaker.
Okay, but you were loudly advising them out the window.
At this moment?
Yeah.
Can we rewatch it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys need to leave now.
That's not me.
What the fuck is going on here? How many of these fucking kids you think are drinking lean and shit?
Okay, so that's Officer Lawrence advising people. I don't know if it was on the loudspeaker or not, but it was advising people to leave. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sounded like Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, how many of these kids you think are drinking lean and shit? And you said all of them. Can you explain to me what lean is and why you thought all of them were drinking it?
Lean is it's promethazine mixed with normally like Sprite or juice, and it's something that lean is a street word for this, and it's just to kind of make you feel good.
Okay, and why did you think that all of them were drinking it?
I didn't think all of them were drinking it. He makes his comment to me, and it's just a response. There's no indication by their actions or behaviors that would make me believe that they were consuming anything.
Do you know why Officer Lawrence would have asked that?
I don't.
Do you feel by saying all of them that you're grouping all of the individuals out there as the same?
No.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, by saying all of them are drinking lean, like agreeing with Officer Lawrence, do you feel that you're grouping them in as a group of individuals all the same? Are they all the same to you, is what I'm asking. Does that clarify?
Not really. I'm having a tough time with that question. Go one more time.
Okay, so you say that all of them. Who are you referring to by all of them?
Do you understand?
The individuals that were directly in front of our patrol car at that time is just a large gathering of individuals.
So a large gathering. So that large gathering, are they a group of certain people? Is it a group of people that you guys were targeting, or is it? Are they all the same? Because what I'm asking is, you said all of them. So are they all the same?
I guess let's go back and then say, so what, can you explain in your own words what you meant when you stated all of them? You told us what you didn't mean, but could you be specific as far as when you responded to Officer Lawrence's question, what did you mean by all of them?
I think it'd be more of an in passing, like he makes a comment that I know is not accurate or true. It's impossible for all of them to be using a substance, because it's not impossible. But as we roll in, we just see this calamity in front of us with all these kids running about. We already see issues forming. He makes this comment, and I mean, I could have said nothing. I could have scoffed. I just all of them. It was referring to the large gathering of juveniles in front of us.
I think that's what you
Okay.
just answered my question.
Okay.
The large group of juveniles.
Yeah, it's just a large group of juveniles.
Okay.
That,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to play from 43 seconds to the 1 minute 28 second mark.
What are you guys doing? No. What are you guys doing? Yeah, we just got here. You better go. You better go talk to them. Go. Holy shit, dude, they're so bad. Imagine being like a Four Seas president. You're like, I want to go to fucking tell this person. Go home. Please go home. Cover your mouth. It's COVID. It's so good. Disappear.
Okay, pausing at 1 minute 28 second. Sounded like Officer Lundgren said something to the effect of "so ghetto, so ghetto, so ghetto." Do you know what Officer Lawrence? I'm sorry, did I say Officer Lundgren?
You did.
I meant Officer Lawrence. Do you know what Officer Lawrence meant by these comments?
I think he was referring to the crowd of people as being ghetto.
And what do you think he meant by ghetto?
I don't know what what he means by the word ghetto.
Do you feel that these comments regarding ghetto would be racially motivated comments in any way?
I think the word ghetto could be construed in a few different ways. It could be racially driven. It could be economically driven. It could be level of intelligence driven.
And how did you feel that these comments meant that evening?
I think he was referring to the demonstration of the individual in front of us and the character that they were kind of demonstrating, the fighting, the running around, the like no care for law enforcement or the non-care for the community around us.
Did you feel that this comment, so ghetto, do you feel that this could be offensive if others were to hear it?
Yes.
And how so?
Are you asking in general if it could be?
Yeah.
Okay.
In general, I believe that the term ghetto could be offensive to individuals. There's a lot of things that can offend anyone. And so if somebody that finds that phrasing to be offensive, then they would find that to be rude or insensitive.
Do you feel that by him saying that it's appropriate or not appropriate?
I would say it's would not be appropriate to say to the community.
But it was appropriate for him to say to you?
It was not appropriate to say. I should rephrase.
Okay, I'm gonna start the video. This is gonna be your video number 3. And we're gonna play from the 30-second mark to the 1 minute 30-second mark. And this starts around 22:15 hours.
Before you begin that, I just want to go back on that last thing. You said it was not appropriate to say. Could you just explain to us in your own words why it was not appropriate to say? You stated that it was your opinion that him saying so ghetto was not appropriate to say. I just want your own explanation of why.
Because it could be construed as being insensitive. And if the community thought that we were being insensitive to a particular group of individuals based on whatever Officer Lawrence determines his definition of ghetto is, that could affect or upset a certain demographic of our city.
Okay, I'm going to start your video number 3 from the 30-second mark on.
Listen up. The movie theater has been closed since 9:30. All of you are being requested to leave the mall property. If you do not leave, you will be detained. Once again, the movie theater is closed. If you do not leave the property, you will be detained. Do you understand?
They're gonna scatter all over at the shore.
I don't care.
I don't either.
I don't care. Should I just go over there and grab somebody and fucking...
Everyone, get up and get moving.
Just get out and fucking walk and grab somebody.
The other one with a fanny pack.
Which one?
Just any of them. Anyone with a fanny pack.
Okay, paused at 1:30. It appears that you are parked and Officer Lawrence is giving loudspeaker advisals. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are you guys requesting people to leave?
I'd have to rewatch it to get the syntax. I believe we're requesting.
Okay.
Sorry.
And when you're trying to get people to leave, is it appropriate to request or to order them to leave?
I think it's appropriate for both.
Okay. And this night, what you recall is Officer Lawrence was requesting for people to leave. Is that correct?
Yes, it does change, I believe, to us ordering people to leave.
And while he was speaking, he mentioned that people would be detained if they didn't leave. Is that correct?
Yes.
And can you tell me what he meant by detained?
Not free to leave?
Is that arrested?
No, that's detained.
Okay. And what's the difference?
Detained is not free to leave to determine if a crime has been committed, or in this case, since we were talking about trespassing, detained to write a notice of trespass, then to release. Arrest is for actual committing of a crime or the investigation into a crime. At this point, we had no crime other than the property asking us to remove.
Okay. At one point, Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, should I just go out there and grab somebody and fucking ka-ka-ka? What do you think he meant by grab somebody and fucking ka-ka-ka?
I think he meant put him in handcuffs.
Is ka-ka-ka a reference in handcuffing somebody?
It is not.
Have you ever heard it used in handcuffing somebody?
I have not.
How did you come to your opinion that he meant that he was going to handcuff somebody by that term?
Because I know Officer Lawrence well enough to know he didn't mean violence by it. And he says we should go out there and grab and ka-ka-ka, meaning, in my opinion, detaining, to detain, to start moving this process along.
Have you ever heard anybody reference ka-ka-ka, meaning shooting somebody?
No.
How about using force in any way?
No.
And just to reiterate, you felt that evening that he meant just to handcuff somebody.
Yes.
Do you feel that that comment using ka-ka-ka is inappropriate? Is it appropriate?
I think in the patrol car with just the two of us, having kind of a casual conversation as we approach, we're kind of just discussing things as we're rolling in, and I don't think it's an inappropriate thing. Us just being people, use different slang terms, different terminologies. If that were to be said in front of a kid or a juvenile or anyone being detained, I'm just gonna ka-ka-ka you, then I'd say that's inappropriate or not okay. But in a police car, just the two of us having a conversation, I don't think it's inappropriate.
Okay, so somebody else besides you and Officer Lawrence, if somebody were to hear it, do you think they could think that it might mean shooting or using force?
I think it's.
Are you asking if any one person could?
I'm
interpret
asking
that?
his opinion to that, yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead then.
I think if there was more context to it, I think if you did a finger gun, or if there was, like I said, more context to it, somebody could interpret anything we say as anything. I don't believe, knowing Connor Lawrence, that this comment in a joking manner meant you to use force, to harm anyone, to shoot anyone, of course.
Okay. Do you feel like he was using it in a joking manner?
Yes.
Just to go back, you said at some point, initially you guys were requesting for them to leave and then it changed to ordering them. Do you recall when that changed? At what point?
No, I know in reviewing my body-worn camera for this, I made comments of, you need to leave. That's not a request, that's a demand. And other such phrasing as such. Once we had given, I don't know, the reports and what we say on camera are kind of all over the place, between 30 and 90 minutes of announcements. after all the announcements were given and we started to actively start moving people, it changed from, please leave, to it's now time to go. So I'm not sure exactly at what point that changed.
Okay, so it eventually changed. And once it changed to you need to leave, did it ever change back and forth, or did it progress to need to leave? Does that make sense?
In reviewing my body-worn camera, there were certain groups that, for instance, there's one that a couple people are walking towards us. I'm like, yo, guys, you guys need to leave. And they're like, hey, we just got here. We don't have anything to do with them. And I said, like, hey, I'm really sorry. Like, if you got caught into all this, but can you guys just go out to the sidewalk? Like, I need everyone out of here. So yes, it did kind of go back and forth depending on the circumstances. There were some people we came across that were more reasonable, and we had a conversation with. There was others that we were just kind of driving along, kind of, hey, it's time, go away, like it's time to go home. So yes, it did kind of go back and forth.
Is it fair to say that it was dependent on what the subjects were actually doing? What the orders were dependent on what the specific subjects were doing. Does that make sense? So the ones that you just gave an example that they just got there, from what you observed, were they causing any problems? They were just on scene. So then you made a request versus an order. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay.
Officer Lawrence made another comment, something to the effect of, just get out and walk and grab somebody. And you respond by anyone with a fanny pack. What did he mean, first of all, by grab somebody?
I think he just means to go up and start detaining people. We both kind of agreed, and we discussed it on and off camera, that the moment we actually start enforcing this notice of trespass, that most of these kids are just going to take off running. They don't want conflict with law enforcement. They don't want to be detained, and they're most likely just going to start running. My comment about the fanny pack, on and off camera, we talk about how we recognize several people in the crowd. There's several people wearing gang clothing. There's several people with fanny packs and satchels. And just through my training experience, I know that it's more and more common for individuals that are going to conceal a firearm on their person, that they do it in fanny packs and satchels.
And this crowd out there, did you feel that there could be people out there that may have guns in their fanny packs?
Through knowing some of these kids from working in the South for 4 years and recognizing them gang clothing, I know that individuals that are part of gangs or are participating in these kind of throwdown brawls, it's very likely or it's possible for firearms to be in the crowds, yes.
So when you meant, individuals with a fanny pack, you're basically targeting people that you believe that might be more apt to have a gun on them.
It was more of a comment of officer safety, like, hey, if we're going to go out there and grab somebody, if we find individuals that raise to the level of detention for what we're dealing with, watch out for the satchels, and the ones with the satchels we should probably get a little closer to for officer safety.
Okay, I'm going to play this video from 3 minutes 25 seconds to 3 minutes 46 seconds.
This is body on camera number 3 still?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, 3 minutes 24 seconds.
Highly retarded. They all just left. Yeah, why aren't they all just sitting here with us? Okay.
Okay, pausing at 3 minutes 46 seconds. Sounded like Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, are they retarded? And for some reason you tapped your body-worn camera set several times. Who is Officer Lawrence referring to when he said, are they retarded?
Whoever was out in front of the movie theater at that exact time. I'm not certain without watching the ICC to know if there was a small group or a large group, but referring to the group.
Okay. And why did you tap your body-worn camera several times?
Because I thought it was an inappropriate comment, and I was indicating to him that, hey, our body cams are still on.
And that was kind of your signal to say, hey.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Were you, is it fair to say you were attempting to remind him that the body worn camera was on and to be cognizant of what he was saying?
Yes.
And you responded with, why aren't they just sitting here with us? Who are you referring to? Do you recall?
The group that was sitting in front of the movie theater, just kind of watching our red and blues flash.
Okay, so it wasn't officers, it was individuals out there?
Yes.
Okay. And it sounded like Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, I don't fucking know because they're retarded. Everybody's retarded. Is he referring to the same people that you referred to a bit ago? That were
Yes,
sitting
he's
out there?
referring to the group.
What was your interpretation of him saying retarded and calling these people retarded?
I think he meant it more along the lines as, this is going to way juvenile it, but these silly people, these people that are just acting out, the individuals in front of us that would rather spend their, I don't even know what day this was, Saturday evening, fighting each other rather than, actually attending a movie or something like that. I don't believe he was using the word retarded as a derogatory term of the mentally ill. It was more of this group is silly, to use a word.
Is this a word that he commonly uses to describe people?
I don't recall him ever using it before.
Do you use this word to describe people?
No.
Do you feel that if other people besides you and Officer Lawrence were to hear him say this, would it be offensive?
I believe in the right context, it could be.
Do you believe if other people were to hear him say this, it would bring discredit or embarrassment upon the Sacramento Police Department?
If somebody was offended by it, sure, yes.
And do you believe that using the word retarded is derogatory in any way?
Yes.
Do you feel is it an appropriate word when describing people?
Under context, it's not an appropriate word to describe people you don't know outside of friend circles or private conversations. I would say in this instance it's probably not the right word to use.
Were you offended by him when he said this?
No.
Okay, I'm going to continue the video to 4 minutes, 3 seconds.
Guys are just standing over there. This doesn't look good. We have one officer because they don't give a fuck. Kind of feel like just going up and grabbing someone. That tall dude with the bag on his chest.
Okay, pause at 4 minutes, 3 seconds. Sounded like Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, I kind of feel like going up and grabbing someone, the tall dude with the bag on his chest. Do you know who he was talking about that evening?
No.
You don't recall?
No.
Do you know why he singled this person out?
It sounded like he singled him out due to the bag on his chest.
And this goes back to what you were talking about earlier as far as looking for people with backpacks. And does he have the same training and experience you do with gangs?
I don't know what his training experience level is with street gangs. I'll leave it at that. I don't know what his level.
And so you never saw this subject, right? Is that what you're saying? That you
No,
can
I'm,
recall?
I'm certain I saw him because I acknowledge something to the effect of, oh yeah.
Okay. Do you recall what the subject looked like? His race, height, weight?
No, he referred to him as the tall guy, but I don't recall.
No clothing or anything?
No,
You don't remember what race he was?
I do not.
Okay, I'm gonna continue the video from 5 minute 38 seconds. 5 minute 36 seconds to 5 minute 50 seconds.
I'll fucking. We go to do a fucking make an arrest. Fucking grab somebody, yank them, and cuff them up, and then keep giving orders. What are people gonna do?
Okay, paused at 5 minute 50 seconds. Sounded like Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, if we go make an arrest, I'll fucking grab somebody and yank them and then cuff them up. And giving them orders, what are people gonna do? Do you know what Officer Lawrence meant by this comment?
So I completely understand the context of his language. In knowing him and being on a team with him for the year, I know what his language is. It's not always appropriate. I know that if you take out all the profanities and he's talking about if we go to detain or arrest, what is everyone else going to do? And I took that as, are they going to try to charge us, or are they just going to run away and leave the area?
Okay. Do you think that when he said yank them, he meant use force on them?
Yank or pull or grab. I took that as like going hands-on.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to a segment where you and Officer Lawrence are speaking with Sergeant Fox, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 9 minutes, 12 seconds. And I'll play it for the duration of your conversation with him, okay?
Hello, Connor.
Hey, Sarge. You're on speaker with me and Lundy.
Alright, how many people are out there?
I'd say 80 to 100.
80 to 100, and they're not leaving?
No, there's actually more showing up.
There's more showing up?
Yeah, like we'll give announcements and then they'll just like keep walking down the driveway up into the movie theater.
Okay. So they're where exactly are they at? Give me some details here.
They are all directly out in front of the movie theater.
Okay. So they're on the property of Delta Shores.
Correct.
Delta Shores want them 602 if they're on their property not leaving?
Yes, they've been calling. The security's been calling all night for them to fight to each other.
Alright, have we advised them that they will be taken into custody, given a notice of trespass, and their parents be notified to pick them up, kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's start picking a couple people off then. Because that's what it's going to take to get them out of there.
Okay, dokie, sounds good.
Is there certain, can we identify certain people
Well,
that are being instigators in this issue?
I don't think so, because when they do start 242ing, they'll just all run into like a corner and start fighting each other, and like we're
Well,
not
I mean,
getting.
like the folks that don't want to leave. Like, is there certain people that are
Oh,
being
yeah.
more defiant than others?
Yeah.
I mean, can we identify those people to snatch that might
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. Do you need me out there to help coordinate it, or can you guys coordinate that with the units you have out there?
I think we can coordinate it with the units we have.
Okay, we don't need to go anything crazy, some more stuff, but if we just to set the tone, we're not accepting. All of the business is closed off by now, right?
They're going back and forth between Fire Wings and the movie theater.
Okay, but are they open or closed?
They're open. Fire Wings is. Movie theater's on.
Okay. Can we maybe, before we do this, coordinate with the Fire Wings and see if they're willing to close? So this doesn't continue to be an issue in
Yes, I will ask Alpha 53s if they can.
Let's start there. I'll also see if I can get the helicopter to come over some form of air to make some more announcements before you guys do that as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Should I be like, this is the final announcement?
Okay, it paused at 12 minutes, 10 seconds. In your words, can you explain the conversation that you and Officer Lawrence had with Sergeant Fox? What did you take from that conversation?
That it's about time to start detaining people and to pick off those who are that are the instigators and start detaining people.
At one point, it sounded like Sergeant Fox said, have we advised them that they will be taken into custody, given a notice of trespass, and their parents be notified to pick them up?
Yes.
I believe it said something along beyond that. Could we rewind that again?
Absolutely.
I think the context that I got from it was that it was along those lines. He said something after that, notify the parents, and there's something else.
Okay.
Could we go back to make
Yeah,
sure?
one sec.
I'll make sure I got the exact quote written
Yes. Okay.
Do you let the group know?
Let's start there. I'll also see if I can get them in
Yes, I will ask Alpha 53s.
movie theater out there to help coordinate it, or can you guys coordinate those people to snatch that might I mean, like the folks that don't want to leave. Let's
So, because what?
to pick them up, kind of thing.
Yes, for them to play to each other.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to start it here at 10 minutes, 6 seconds.
Have we advised them that they will be taken into custody, given a notice of trespass, and their parents be notified to pick them up, kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's start picking a couple people.
Okay, pause back at 10 minutes, 23 seconds. Do you know what Sergeant Fox meant when he said, did you feel that he meant that they were going to be arrested or detained? What was your feeling when he was making that comment to you guys?
When he said snatch, detain.
Okay.
Yeah, detain.
And do you think by what he said he was expecting that you were going to contact the parents if you did contact somebody?
Yes.
And what his request was, you remember what we just listened to twice. Did you guys tell the subjects that you came in contact this information, his requests?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, absolutely. So he said, have we advised them that they will be taken into custody, given a notice of trespass, and their parents will be notified? The people that you came in contacted that evening, did you tell them all of those things?
Through our announcements?
Yes.
No, we did not notify them that their parents would be contacted.
Okay. Sounded like Sergeant Fox advised you guys to start picking a couple people off and asked if there were certain people that you could identify as instigators and that would help set the tone. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Sergeant Fox also asked if you guys needed him out there to help coordinate, and Officer Lawrence advised that you guys could coordinate with other units in the area. Is that correct?
Yes.
Sounded like Sergeant Fox said something to the effect of, we don't need to go anything crazy use of force stuff, but if we just set the tone, it's time to go. What did that mean to you?
Well, it's up for interpretation. Setting the tone depends on the context.
Let's go.
But-
Let's go phrase by phrase here. Then we don't need to go anything crazy use of force stuff. What does that mean to you when he said it?
I would say no, like beanbags, 40 mils, no riot situation level of force.
So does that mean the same as grabbing somebody, detaining them in handcuffs, or is it different?
It's different.
Okay. The next phrase was, but if we just set the tone, what did that mean to you that evening?
If we start detaining people, the rest of the group will understand that we're more or less serious, and maybe in fear of being detained and trespassed, they would just leave.
Have you and Officer Lawrence had conversations with Sergeant Fox regarding using force on people for trespass violations at Delta Shores before?
No.
Not for juveniles either?
No.
And what is your understanding of his expectations regarding contacting juveniles out there and the amount of force to use during notice of trespass?
Sergeant Fox's expectations of force?
Yeah.
I don't know what his expectations for force are. I know what my expectations are. Obviously he said, let's not go crazy with the force. I would assume it would be, let's not hurt people.
Okay. So you wouldn't consider grabbing somebody, putting them in handcuffs. You wouldn't consider that as we don't need to go crazy. Anything crazy use of force. You would consider that different, correct?
Yeah, I don't consider putting hands on and handcuffs a level of force.
Okay. Go forward the video again.
I'd actually like to add something.
Go ahead.
Putting hands on somebody is a level of force, I should say, not an excessive or a crazy amount, as he said.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Just so for clarification, you were responding and adding more to respond to Sergeant's question just now of did you interpret hands-on and handcuffs to be a crazy use of force?
Yes, it is not a crazy level of force to detain and handcuff.
Okay. I'm going to start the video at 1350 and play it to 1415.
Well, they're on Delta Shores property still. We've told them they need to get out of here. But the only problem is that if they are buying from fire wings, then we're basically... Oh, they're moving. We can't move. All right, here's the fucking problem. They're fucking blind cats. We're not going to be able to hurt them around.
Okay, paused at 14 minutes, 15 seconds. Sounded like Officer Lawrence said something to the effect of, here's the fucking problem. They're fucking blind cats. We're not going to be able to herd them around. Do you know what he meant when he referred to them as blind cats?
I took that as just individuals not willing to listen. And as we try to move them in a one direction, they're just going to disobey and move in a different direction. And it'd be nearly impossible to get that large of a group to move in a certain direction with our manpower.
Is blind cats a derogatory term in any way?
No.
Okay, I'm going to show you Officer Lawrence body worn camera 2. And for the record, this is 2020-10-11 T05:14:580 Axon Body 2 X81378979. I'm going to start the video at 29 minutes 20 seconds. All right, 29 minutes 18 seconds. And I'll play it to 30 minutes 5 seconds.
And could I, 1 second, so I can
Absolutely.
write down the Zulu time?
You betcha.
Now, does that Zulu time match up with Lundgren Zulu time?
Yes. All right.
Thank you.
Report by unit information on 97 vehicle and
All of you that were in front of the movie theater, you are still here. We are not leaving. Continue to exit the property eastbound towards Delta Shores Circle.
You who just sat down, stand up and get moving.
All of you gentlemen who are sitting on the fountain, you are a prime example of who needs to leave. Please exit the property.
Go wait on the street.
Go wait on Delta Shores. Do not wait here. Your Uber or your mommy and daddy can pick you up over there. God, dude.
Okay, pause at 30 minutes 5 seconds. Sounded like Officer Lawrence continued to give loudspeaker announcements to leave. Is that correct?
Yes.
At one point, he stated, "Your Uber or your mommy and daddy can pick you up over there." In your opinion, is that an appropriate and professional way to speak to the public?
No.
And why is that?
It's, I don't know, it's just, they are children, and it's treating them like children, but it's more of a disrespectful way. It's not something I would use. I think he was getting across the fact that they're being children and they're acting in such. But
Do you feel that this comment could bring discredit upon the Sacramento Police Department or embarrassment?
it could.
Do you feel that it was inappropriate?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to continue from 33 minutes to 33:50. Okay, 32 minutes 56 seconds.
It's like, they're literally corralling them, dude. Don't split the group. Oh, and then look at Kaiser and all them are parked over there. Look at this shit, dude. Look at that. Look at them over there. Just
Turn left and walk towards the street. Get off the property. All right, you're gonna make your way to the back seat of my squad car. Turn left and walk to the street. Do it now. If you don't know your left from your right, that's left. Go towards the street. Okay.
Okay, pausing at 33 minutes 50 seconds from Officer Lawrence, body worn camera 2. You say loudly, turn left, walk towards the street, get off the property. All right, you're going to make your way to the back seat of my squad car. Turn left and walk towards the street. Do it now. You then say, if you don't know your left from your right, That's left. Go towards the street, okay? By you making this comment, if you don't know your left from your right, do you feel that it may make some people feel upset, embarrassed, or incompetent?
He was looking back and forth, unsure of what I was talking about. So I was clarifying that left, and I pointed. If somebody was dyslexic and didn't know their left from their right, that could make them feel embarrassed.
Were you speaking to a specific individual at this time?
Yes.
Do you feel that the rest of the crowd outside of the vehicle would know that you were speaking to someone specifically?
He was speaking back to me, so yes.
Do you know what he was saying?
He was, when I said you need to move to your left, he looked left and right, and that's when I made the comment. And then he said something along the lines of, I'm going this way. And I think at one point when I said you need to move left, he said no. So there was a back and forth, maybe a couple back and forths between him and I.
And when you were saying, if you don't know your left from your right, were you pointing and trying to give them direction?
Yes.
So by you saying, if you don't know your left from your right, were you meaning that in any type of joking form? Any type of joke or funny about the situation?
No, I legitimately been out there for, an hour trying to get these individuals to leave. They were heading southbound. I paralleled them and continued to say, you guys need to leave towards the street. You guys need to go left, pointing left, giving them the direction of which I wanted them to go.
But by you saying, if you don't know your left from your right, that's left. You were meaning that to that one individual because you truly felt that he didn't know his left from his right? Is that what I'm understanding?
No.
Then why did you say that?
So he was, when we first approached that group, and on my body cam it shows the size of the group. There's a fair amount of them. The initial, you guys need to move to the left. The whole group ignored us. The one individual, he spoke out and said no. I said, you guys, need to move to your, to the street to the left. If you don't know your left from your right, it's that way. There was nothing.
Were you trying to make fun of the subject?
No.
Were you trying to demean him in any way?
No.
You stated at one point that the subject looked right and left. Can you tell me what your interpretation of this body movement or his, what he did? How did you interpret that?
Well, since they weren't following directions, it was truly unclear if they were just being disrespectful and not listening, or if they didn't know what I was meaning. That's why I also added the pointing, the hand gesture of direction that way.
Okay.
And,
So you were, is it fair to say that the reason that you made that comment was to ensure that your order was understood, that he would head the right direction, because you were unsure if he knew his right from left based off of his demeanor or what his actions?
It was a comment to be very clear. It wasn't to be funny or to joke, but in that instance, it was, hey, we're not playing, guys. Like, we've been giving you orders all day. If you don't know your left from your right, it's that way. Go that way. It wasn't meant in any sort of demeaning manner. It was to get the fact across that, hey, we're serious. We're kind of tired of you guys just constantly not listening. So let's be very, very clear. Like, left is that way. Go that way.
In your opinion, do you feel that somebody could take this as it being a demeaning comment?
Once again, you're asking, could any random one person?
Yeah, in his opinion,
In the context, can I ask clarifying then? In the context that you meant for it to be delivered, or actually, sorry, let me take that back. You can answer your question. I will follow up with the question if you haven't. So my apologies. I'm not going to ask that question yet. Go ahead.
Okay. In your opinion, that comment that you made, do you feel that the public could take that as a demeaning comment?
Like we talked about earlier, any one person can take anything any way they want. And so, yes, if there was an individual in that group that was dyslexic and didn't know their left from their right, they could take that as being such.
Okay.
Okay. Did you feel like in that context your comment was unprofessional?
No.
Your comment with giving them information, you're trying to be very clear. Is it fair to say, though, when we communicate, that tone plays a role in how the message is received?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Did you feel that your tone was appropriate at this time when you made that comment?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you feel that this comment was professional?
Yes.
Were you frustrated with the people out there at that time?
Yes.
And would you agree that even when faced with frustrations on the job, it's our duty to maintain our professionalism?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to move on to your body-worn camera number 4. Do you guys need a break or anything?
I do not.
No. Okay. For you.
Good.
Okay, just for the record, this is 2020-10-11 TTOM05:44:520 Axon Body 2 X-ray 81012289. I'm going to play from 3 minutes 55 seconds. 3 minutes 54 seconds.
Okay. Here. Come here. Come here. Come here. All right. First, get down.
You guys just start moving.
The street's that way, please.
No, that's what I got to do.
You guys want to touch too.
Okay. Get off that now and get out. Now. How old are you?
I'm 12.
Okay. You think it's cool to do what you're doing?
I'm not doing that too much.
So making sure you don't have a gun on you. Well, 14-year-olds have guns. I'm not saying you do. But if you want to be cool in front of your friends, and I told you, I'm not asking where to go, I'm telling you where to go. That's the problem, is that people don't want to listen to cops. Then when we have to get out of our car and do something, you want to run. And that's when you get tased. There's no reason for this. This is what I don't get about our culture these days. Why can't we just listen?
Okay, paused at 5 minutes 31 seconds. Do you recognize the subject that you put in handcuffs?
I recognize as detaining him. I don't remember his name. I'd have to look.
Does the last name of
Yes.
remind? Okay. As you grab Mr. and start putting handcuffs on him, you said, "All right, first victim." Can you tell me why you said that?
That was the first person that we detained from the entire group of individuals.
So, specifically the word victim, what do you mean by victim?
I think it's just like a turn of phrase, like the first catch of the day, or just the first individual He was just the first person that we detained from that group, that's all.
Do you feel that this is an appropriate comment to make out loud in front of other people?
I would say the term victim has a kind of a negative impact.
By the word victim, give us a definition of the, I guess, what you know the word victim to mean.
Generally, when we go to calls for service, it's the individual that has sustained some sort of damage or is the one that's been harmed.
Okay. So as if they were a victim of a crime or something like that. That was someone that has been
Victimized.
Victimized. Okay. So you're referring to this Mr. as all right, first victim. What could that have been perceived as? He was a victim of a crime or about to be, and who would have been the suspect?
Are you saying can it be perceived by someone else, or if that was his intent when he said it?
I guess I'll ask both ways then.
Okay.
When you said that, was that your intention that it could be perceived or would be perceived that way? That Mr. is going to be the victim of something?
No.
Okay. Could you see how it could possibly be viewed that way with the typical term or definition of what a victim is?
I could see that.
And if it was viewed that way, do you think that it could bring discredit or embarrassment upon the Sacramento Police Department?
If it was interpreted that way, yes, it could.
Do you think it would be more appropriate to advise that he was the first detainee instead of victim?
Yes, another turn of phrase would have been more appropriate.
And why did you handcuff him?
Because he was detained.
He wasn't arrested for anything?
No.
Was he free to leave?
No.
And prior to handcuffing him, was he being resistive in any way?
He was starting to slowly move away. Initially, I remember, it's not on camera, but I recall when I initially said for him to stop or come here, he made a large motion to run, and that's why I got out of the car as fast as I did. To be fair, and no one knew this, and it's no way of proving it, I'm not going to chase a kid for these circumstances. I want them to run away and leave. But when I get out of the car and tell him that he is detained, he did stop and comply, and I detained him in handcuffs and then removed him from the rest of his group to not cause further issue.
And when you got to him and he was cooperative, did he try to escape from you, or did he try to overcome any type of resistance when you were handcuffing him?
No.
Based on your body-worn camera, do you feel or believe, or did you believe at the time that he stopped because of the orders you gave him, or the other subjects that were there told him to stop?
I don't know. It could have been a combination of both. But when I got out of the car and he kind of realized I was serious, I didn't think he wanted to probably be in any additional trouble. And then somebody else in the crowd made a comment, I think you can hear it, about I don't know, something about complying.
Okay.
As you walk him to the car and get ready to place him in the back seat, you have a conversation with him. You say, "How old are you?" He says, "I'm 14. You say, "Okay, do you think it's cool to do what you're doing?" He says, "I'm not doing anything. Why you?" And then he says, "Search." You say, "I'm making sure you don't have a gun on you." He says, "I don't got nothing on me." You say, "Well, 14-year-olds have guns. I'm not saying you do, but if you want to be cool in front of your friends," and he says, "I'm not," then I can't understand what he's saying. He says, "You asked me where I'm going." and you said, and I told you, I'm not asking where you are going, I'm telling you where to go. That's the problem, is that people don't want to listen to cops. Then when we have to get out of our cars and do something, you want to run. And that's when and that's when you get tased. You said 14-year-olds have guns. 14-year-olds have guns. When you said that, were you putting into some type of group of individuals that carry guns?
Can we clarify? I mean, he did say 14-year-olds have guns, and then he immediately said thereafter, I'm not saying you do. And this was in the course of a search. That's the context we're referring to, that comment?
Yeah, when he made the comment that 14-year-olds have guns, were you meaning that all 14-year-olds have guns?
No, because then right after I said, I'm not saying you do,
Okay.
just 14-year-olds do, or whatever the actual quote is. Through my training experience from working the streets, I know that other individuals that I've contacted and arrested that are younger than 14 have committed murder, have committed robberies with guns, that carry guns. And so for my officer safety, if I'm detaining somebody and putting you in the back of my car, I'm going to pat you down for weapons.
And why did you say that to him? Why did you talk to him about guns at all and not just pat him down and do what you knew from your training experience?
Because I wanted him to be aware of what I was doing. He asked, and I don't remember his exact words, but...
Can we play it again?
Sure, absolutely.
That section.
Mm-hmm. See if I can get back to it here.
If you want to be cool in front of your friends, and not now.
Okay. I'm going to start back at 4 minutes, 31 seconds.
Get out! Nah. How old are you? I'm 14. Okay. Do you think it's cool to do what you're doing? I'm not doing that to mine. So making sure you don't have a gun on you. Well, 14-year-olds have guns. I'm not saying you do. But if you want to be cool in front of your friends,
Okay, paused at
I can't,
4:53.
I can't make out what he says. Does he say, why are you searching me? And then I said, to make sure you don't have guns, or a gun.
He says, I'm not doing anything, why you, and then search. I think there was something in the middle that we couldn't catch on video.
Okay. I think he's asking me, why am I searching him?
Okay.
And I explained to him, instead of just not informing him of what I'm doing, try to make him as comfortable as possible and to try to continue like the transparency of why I'm doing things. Well, I'm patting you down or I'm searching you for weapons. 14-year-olds carry guns, or that context of the word.
Okay, and were you inferring or assuming that he had a gun?
No.
Okay.
So you said, I'm making sure you don't have a gun on you, which would have been in response to his question to you. Okay. And then he says, it sounds like I don't got nothing on me. And you say, well, 14-year-olds have guns. I'm not saying you do. But so just you're educating him of what you're doing, what you're looking for, and that from your experience, you know that 14-year-olds can and have in the past carried guns, not specifically him, but you're checking to make sure. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay.
And do you feel that this was reasonable to explain to him why you're doing that search?
Yes.
Were you frustrated with Mr. at the time?
I don't think I was specifically frustrated at him. I think it's fair to say that I was frustrated with this whole situation. But I believe that I kept good composure and communicating with him and explained to him what I was doing.
You had made a comment, and that's when you get tased. Can you explain that?
Yes. It doesn't necessarily fit this criteria because, like I said earlier, if he would have taken off running, I wouldn't have chased him. But our policy for CED states that any level of active resistance is a situation in which taser may be used. In this context, it wouldn't have been, but it was more of a comment of future events. Like, if you run from the cops, here is something that could happen to you. Why are you doing this?
Were you trying to scare him?
No.
Were you trying to educate him?
Yes.
And just for the record, are you allowed to tase somebody for running away from you?
Under these circumstances, no.
And can you elaborate a little bit more on why you told him this?
It was more of a, like, why are you doing this? Why are you trying to be cool? Why are you acting this way? When an officer tells you, and I go into more detail later, but when an officer tells you to do something, all you have to do is listen, and you're not going to get hurt. If you start to do such things as run from cops when they're giving you a lawful order, stop, there are things that, there's some consequences that could follow. And later on, we talk more, and I talk to him about, like, depending on the circumstances, if you run, bean bags, 40 mils, I think I even said Bola, which we don't even carry anymore. I went through our less lethal options with him about it's much safer to just listen to law enforcement than to run, because, and I didn't explain this to him, but when people run from us, there's generally a reason. It's a bunch of kids that we're trying to move out, so I don't think that he just robbed someone or did anything violent. But when violent people run from us, there's a high likelihood for, force to be used, or officer safety, or there's a lot of things. Clearly, I didn't go into that much detail with him.
Okay. I'm going to replay the second half of this video since it's been a while, and I'll pause it when I have the questions for you, okay? Starting at 4 minutes, 53 seconds.
And I told you, I'm not asking where to go, I'm telling you where to go. That's the problem, is that people don't want to listen to cops. Then when we have to get out of our car and do something, you want to run. And that's when you get tased. There's no reason for this. This is what I don't get about our culture these days. Why can't we just listen?
Okay, pausing at 5 minutes, 17 seconds. You stated there's no reason for this. This is what I don't get about our culture these days. Why can't we just listen? Can you elaborate on what you meant by culture these days?
So this is an opportunity, and I continue on with an attempt to mentor, educate, to teach. He's young, he's watching the news and social media, and it's a time of certain groups not being so happy with law enforcement and thinking that law enforcement just is out there to murder and kill people, and that it's okay to be disrespectful, to not follow orders, to not show respect. So this conversation with him is talking about the culture of the United States and how we are all acting as Americans, and the culture we're living in is a culture of disrespect cops, failing to listen to authority, and so forth.
Okay, you just referred to certain groups. Are you referring to certain groups of culture or just certain groups of individuals? What are you referring to?
When I say this is the problem with our culture, that's American culture. That's all of our culture.
When you were speaking with him, did you mean culture in any type of other form, like a race or age or...
No, because we're experiencing defiance from all races, genders, age groups, all people of a background. We're experiencing this level of disrespect or failure to comply with authority.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. So, correct me if I'm wrong or if I misspeak, okay? You stated our culture, and why can't we just listen? Are you including yourself as part of this American culture? Is that why you're using the terms as such as our and we?
Yes,
Okay.
it's all of our culture, and I was referring to as me included.
Okay. And then in your statement now, when you're referring to certain groups, you're meaning certain groups that believe that cops are out to kill people, and that are not showing respect towards law enforcement. Is that what you mean when you stated certain groups?
There are groups in our society and in our culture that are made up of all demographics that do not like cops, and that is what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Okay, I'm starting the same video. Your body worn camera video 4 at 12 minutes 45 seconds.
You understand that you can never come back here, and if you come back to Delta Shores and you get contacted by law enforcement, you get arrested. Because one, you guys are failing to listen to law enforcement, which is one of the biggest problems in our culture nowadays, is that people don't have any respect for law enforcement. You understand that the movie theater, Buffalo Wild Wings, every business in here had to shut down 2 hours early because, not saying it's you, but a group of people that you're surrounding yourself with are running around fighting people, causing good people. I'm not saying it was you, the group you're with though. But there's 200 of you roaming around, being a pack of animals.
Okay, paused at 13 minutes 29 seconds. You mentioned culture again, Mr. Can you explain what you meant in this context this time?
It was the same exact context.
So you weren't specifying any certain culture?
No.
Just the culture of America, or what you mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
When you're referring to culture this time, did it have any specific meaning, like race, gender, age group, or economic status?
No.
And you're referring to your own culture?
Yes.
You said, but there's 200 of you roaming around, being a pack of animals, and because of that, what did you mean by saying a pack of animals?
Well, pack mentality is a large group of any animal that roams around. And I think I even say further on, I refer to like a pack of wolves, where they're just like terrorizing the countryside and attacking the weak and causing mischief and harm.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
When you said pack of animals, did you, I'll start specifically with, did you intend any race?
No.
I presume actually these questions may be coming, so go ahead, Sergeant.
Was this a racially motivated comment?
No.
And again, in your opinion, do you feel that if someone were to hear you say that they could take that remark as a racially motivated comment?
Like, once again, anyone can take anything in any context they want. I think if there was maybe something else added to that, it could be racially driven or motivated, but I don't think that phrase could be taken negatively. I'll rephrase. Could, sure, it could.
Do you feel that it's appropriate to associate the subjects out there as a pack of animals?
I think it's like I said again, I think it's a phrase that underlines that their behavior is not one that is acceptable, and that young men of his age should know better and should not be, like I said, running around fighting weaker people. And I said to him multiple times, I'm not saying it was directly you. I'm just saying the people you were hanging around, they were more of an animalistic mentality than somebody of his age, or just being an American, being a human. It was not human. It was more animal driven.
Go ahead. Ask a question now. Not in the context of how it could be taken by any random person. In the context that you intended that statement, did you feel that it was appropriate in that context?
I believe it was appropriate in that context.
Thank you.
So you feel that it's appropriate to use pack of animals? You feel that that's appropriate to use when speaking to a 14-year-old?
I think for describing the situation that we all observed, I think the term pack of animals is an appropriate way to describe behavior.
Do you think that that comment could bring discredit or embarrassment upon the department?
It could.
Can you elaborate?
Well, like we've said, anyone can be offended by anything, and if certain individuals or groups want to say that the Sacramento Police Department thinks of young children as animals, then that could make us look bad, or in whatever context or light that the individual would like to paint on us.
And you just used the phrase groups, individuals and groups. What groups are you referring to?
Any group.
Any group of people?
Any group of individuals that would take offense to such terminology.
Did you feel in the context that you used it, not in this, could, but did you feel like in the context you used it, it brought discredit to the department?
No.
I know what you're saying that you meant by the term pack of animals. Your statement was, but there is 200 of you roaming around being a pack of animals. Is there when you're saying they are a pack of animals versus acting like, is there a difference in that where you're being very specific and saying they are being a pack of animals versus acting like? Could that statement of saying being be considered a little bit more offensive to some people?
I think in just the conversation we're having, you can take one word and substitute for another and change the context of the statement that was made. And I don't think there's anyone in this world that pays attention to that level of syntax and speech that closely when they're having just a normal conversation. There was nothing race-driven or bigoted-driven behind being a pack or acting like a pack. Once again, anyone can be offended by anything in the English language. That was not my intent or purpose behind using that phrase. It was trying to express to him that when you get this many people together, or this group of individuals that decided as a group to all congregate at Delta Shores that night, that their behavior was negative to the community, negative to Delta Shores, and was more brutal than a normal, well, not normal, was more brutal than the other shoppers and restaurant goers that night.
So why didn't you just explain it like you just explained to us instead of using the term a pack of animals? You just explained it perfectly.
Because it's in the moment and we're just having this conversation, we're just talking. If I had to stop, slow down, think about every sentence I was going to say, think about could this offend anyone in this world, and then try to reword everything I thought in my head to not offend someone, language would cease to exist. My body language, my tone of voice with him was not, in my opinion, demeaning. It was just their actions. The group that decided to descend on Delta Shores that night was more animalistic.
And you don't feel by the context that you used that evening that the phrase a pack of animals was offensive in any way?
Once again, anyone can be offended. It could be offensive. It could be.
And as a professional, did
Did
you want to clarify on that before I move
Yeah.
on? Okay.
Did you intend to offend by saying that?
No, I never intended to offend this young man.
As a professional law enforcement officer, do we have to be very mindful of what we say and how we say it? Because there is a potential for it to either be misinterpreted or misconstrued, misperceived.
I would say yes. I would also like to add that every single officer we have working here in the United States all come from different backgrounds, come from different, cultures, and use different terms of phrases to get the same message across. My message was not out of hatred or to belittle. My message was what came to my mind in that instance. I don't know if I grew up in an area of the United States that uses the phrase pack of animals differently than other people, but at no point in this conversation with this young man was I trying to demean him, insult him, or belittle him, his culture, his beliefs, anything.
Okay. I'm going to continue the video to 15 minutes, 11 seconds.
And because of all of that, okay, but because of all of that, all these businesses have to close because they can't do business because it's like a pack of wolves out here destroying the community. And then when I ask you guys, go to the curb and get off the property, and you want to say, I'm going this way. No, I'm not telling you. I'm not giving you options. I'm telling you, get off the property. Right? This isn't hard. I don't get why everyone has to always argue. And then I say, come here, and you want to run away? You're not going to get away. You understand we have dogs that are way faster? You know we have an airplane in the sky right now? You're not getting away. And this is why, in the media, officers chase people, and people get hurt, and then you want to blame the officer. No, I'm not going to shoot you for running. I could tase you, I could bowler wrap you, I could shoot you with a beanbag round. I could deploy a dog on you. I mean, is this really how you're going to grow up and live your life? Just fuck the police? Huh? I can't hear you. Okay. Live a great life and show some respect. Because you right now, you are the problem with our society. You are the problem with our country. And the people that do and act the way you're acting. I'm acting just fine. I'm enforcing the law, and I'm enforcing what these businesses are asking us to do.
Okay, paused at 15 minutes, 11 seconds. What was your purpose for this conversation with Mr.?
It was try to educate and mentor. He has, that was the purpose. It was educate and mentor.
Okay. And you mentioned pack of wolves out destroying the neighborhood. Can you explain that comment?
goes back to what we were talking about earlier. A pack of wolves in the wild are kind of dominant, and if unchecked, they can destroy an ecosystem. That's kind of the basics of what I was talking about.
So you're referring to a pack of animals similar to that comment?
Yes.
Okay. And was this comment, pack of wolves, was this racially motivated in any way?
No.
When you say the term pack of wolves, are you just referring to the behavior of that specific group you were dealing with that night?
Yes.
Did you actually see Mr. out there destroying anything?
No.
Why did you put him in that group of people when it comes to pack of wolves?
Because he was part of the group, and at some point I mentioned, I think I say something like, I'm sorry to put you into the group if it wasn't you, but it's the people you're hanging around with. So if he wants to associate himself with that group of individual that are conducting themselves in that manner, then he goes to, then it's this all-encompassing pack of animals, wolves, kind of conversation we're going down.
Okay. Were the people out there that evening, were they acting like a pack of wolves? Were they destroying things, disrupting the neighborhood?
They were moving in smaller groups, so you had your large group, and then amongst the large group you had smaller groups that were acting in a wolf-like mentality in a pack, moving around the larger group, finding a weaker individual, like prey, beating them down, and then once we came in, or once they were done, they all fled. And then another group, another smaller group, would move around the large group, find a weaker individual or prey, and beat them down and run away. Very similar to how wolves operate in the wild.
Okay, I got to ask you again, you feel that it's appropriate using animals, a pack of animals, or pack of wolves? You think that's appropriate when explaining how a behavior of specific subjects are acting?
It's a metaphor, and so it's how I can relate what I think their actions are looking like. Instead of saying your actions are of a bunch of juveniles, well, what does that mean? A pack of wolves do something specific.
So you're using it as a metaphor.
As a metaphor.
You said you didn't see out there destroying anything, and that he was part of the group. At one point, though, you did give him an order, and he did not comply. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Is that what some of the rest of the group was also doing? They were given orders and not complying?
Yes.
Is that part of the behavior that you're referring to as the group not complying with officers' orders, causing mischief?
The main part of the behavior that I was getting across is what I was just explaining about. At the height of how many kids were out there, what their actions were, that is more what I'm referring to. Then when I actually made contact with them, they were maybe a group of 20, just kind of walking. They weren't fighting anyone. They weren't actively destroying anything, but they were all moving away from the larger group of individuals that were conducting that behavior earlier in the night.
You mentioned it, and then I say come here and you want to run away. This you are not going to get away. You understand that we have dogs, that we are faster. You know we have an airplane in the sky right now. You are not getting away. And this is why in the media, officers chase people and people get hurt. And then you want to blame the officer. Did he run from you in any way?
No. He made a motion to evade, but it wasn't like a full sprint.
And then he stopped and complied, correct?
Correct.
Could you have deployed a dog on him if he was running away?
No, all of that was completely a bluff. There was no dog on scene. There was no airplane in the sky. It was to try to get across to him that there's no point in trying to run. Just comply.
Do you feel that you were being accurate with him at that point about running? You're trying to educate him, correct?
Throughout the conversation, my general goal is to educate. At that moment, it was a bluff, or like he's already detained, so at that point it wasn't a bluff. I'm trying to think of the correct phrasing.
Was it a scare tactic for the future?
No, it wasn't a scare tactic. It was more to like, I understand the phrasing, and I'll be the first to say the phrasing's not the greatest. I'll agree with you on that. My intent was, it's kind of in the future, you don't need to do this again. We're not the big scary police that you know. If he were to commit more crime in the future, not saying he would, I'm not trying to say that this is going to lead to anything more, but we do have additional resources that we can use to detain individuals depending on crime. And I know I did not explain all that to him in the moment.
And I know you were trying to have a learning conversation with him. I could tell that you were trying to talk to him. But do you feel that the conversation you had with him was positive? You're dealing with a juvenile, and you're trying to educate him. Do you feel that the conversation you had with him was productive, or
Are you trying to ask if Mr. took it as productive, or if Officer Lundgren's intent behind it was to be productive?
Yeah, I'm asking you if you feel that the conversation you had with Mr. was it a positive contact? Was it a positive conversation between you two?
So
Do you feel like he was getting something good out of what you were saying?
my intent was for a positive contact, and that's when I was explaining to him, if you just listen, nothing bad will happen. If you just respect law enforcement and do as you're told, positive things will come out of this. Making furtive movements like I'm going to run are going to lead you down paths that are going to be less productive towards towards the end of the conversation, when he was saying something in the back seat, and I don't recall what it was, but it was something that clearly indicated to me that this was not going to be a positive contact, and it was, I'm sure we're going to get there. I say something along the lines of, are you just going to live your life as fuck the police? That was more of a, is this the way that you want to live your life? Hating the cops, being defiant with the cops, because that's not going to get you anywhere positive. If you hate us, that's okay. But by showing a little respect and doing as you're told, there's almost no chance of ever getting hurt. And that was kind of the path of the conversation, until he started saying something that made me turn and say, okay, well, if you're not wanting to discuss this or listen, then you're going to be the problem with society, and that your actions are what is wrong with our society.
And what was your purpose for telling him, and this is why in the media, officers chase people and people get hurt, and then when you want to blame, and then you want to blame the officer. Why are you explaining this to him?
I'm trying to explain to him that there's different contexts. This trespass 602, like I've already explained, I'm not going to chase him under, but he thinks it's okay to run from the police. And I'm trying to explain to him that when you run from the cops, we don't know why. And I don't go into this much detail, but we don't know why you're running. And so if there is a crime to pursue and force is applied, individuals do get hurt, unfortunately, in law enforcement. And then in the media and in social media, everyone wants to always blame the officer for conducting their job the way they're supposed to. And if somebody gets hurt, but it's completely justified, in certain communities, it's still the officer's fault.
In certain communities, what do you mean by that?
Certain communities across the United States that might not like law enforcement, that are made up of all races, genders, creeds, religions. People from all backgrounds don't necessarily like law enforcement.
Okay, at one point you said, so you shoot them? And you said, no, I'm not going to shoot you for running. I could tase you, I could bowler wrap you, I could shoot you with a beanbag round, I could deploy the dog on you. I mean, is this really how you're going to grow up and live your life? Just fuck the police. And you kind of just talked a little bit about that. Can you actually use these tools on a subject that runs from you for trespassing?
No, like I said earlier, these are situations that you can't use for this circumstance. It was more of a conversation of, and granted, I never went and said, in other circumstances, these are some of the tools that can be applied to you. It was more of a general conversation of, don't run. We don't know why you're running. Under other circumstances, running can lead to this level of force. But I did start off by saying, no, I'm not going to shoot you for running. So I tried to establish there that mere flight is not going to allow me to just pull out everything in my trunk and deploy it.
Were you trying to help him understand that his actions could possibly have certain consequences when dealing with law enforcement? That you were trying to get him to think about what his actions, the effect that it could result in certain things.
Yes, that was my ultimate goal.
Okay.
You stated, I mean, this is really how you're going to grow up and live your life. Just fuck the police. Do you think that this is an appropriate way to speak to a 14-year-old?
I was trying to use the vernacular of kind of what he was giving me. I was trying to more relate to him on his age level, the way that he was speaking to me, and to try to get through to him. Sometimes using phrases like that from an authoritative figure is kind of shocking, and it can kind of open their eyes and be like, oh, you're using that kind of language with me. And so the intent behind that was to try to relate to him, his age group, and kind of use something different to see if that would re-engage him.
Do you think that there's another way you could have gone about that?
Sure, yes, I do.
And do you feel that it's appropriate to use profanity?
No, like I said, I think there are time and places for profanity in this job. I think it is, in my opinion, a way to gain more compliance depending on the situation. And I think in this particular situation, I was trying to use the profanity to kind of shock him a little bit, try to maybe get more on his level, like I explained, use the vernacular he was kind of using with me to relate.
So do you feel it's appropriate? Did you feel like using profanity in this context with a 14-year-old was appropriate?
No, it was not appropriate.
And you just agreed that there's probably a different way you could get your point across to this subject. Is that correct?
Yes, there is another way I could have talked to him and gotten that same thing across, or that same phrase across, without being so blunt with it.
Do you feel that the way that you spoke to him could bring discredit or embarrassment to the Sacramento Police Department?
Yes, it could.
Did did he curse or use profanity with you? I don't recall, but
I don't recall either.
Not that you can recall.
Not that I recall.
You stated, live a great life and show some respect, because right now you are the problem with our society. You are the problem with our country. And the people that do and act the way you are acting. Explain to me what you mean by you are the problem with our society.
So during this conversation, we're talking about, I elaborated and said American culture. We're talking about how youth in general are kind of growing up with no respect. You're seeing it in the education system. You're seeing it, every day on patrol. We're getting calls for service constantly from parents that are calling us about their kids who have no respect, won't listen. When we contact groups such as this, giving them just basic, easy, lawful orders, hey, all I need you to do is just leave. Like, you guys are causing an issue. And the gross defiance of kind of a generation. Sorry.
It's okay. You also used you are the problem with this country. So you used the...
So, I'm sorry. Thank you for getting back on track.
It's okay.
So in this moment, because he says something really low under his breath, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something that, and it might have been, well, fuck the police. It might have been something along those lines. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was something that changed the course of the conversation. And the way in which he was acting in this moment, and I said the way, I think I said, please reread the quote.
It was, you are the problem with our society. You are the problem with our country.
So in this moment in time, the way that he is acting and being towards law enforcement, being towards the situation, was what you're kind of seeing nationwide with defiance and kind of attitude problems and lack of authoritative respect in general towards family, teachers, law enforcement. And this was this is what he was showing towards me. And so that was the shift where I said, okay, well, you know what? If this is the way that you want to act and present yourself, then you're part of the problem. You're part of this massive problem that the United States is facing that we need to change. And if this is the way you want to live, there'll be a problem. And it was more along the lines of, we need to start this change back to, you can hate us, but if you show respect, we can kind of solve anything. And that was kind of the direction of you're the problem comment.
By you saying you, by your saying you, when referring to the problem of society and the problem with our country, are you referring to him as the part of the defiant group you just referred to?
Yes.
Do you think this was a positive approach of getting your point across?
I think it takes several encounters with law enforcement to make any kind of impact on anyone. And through my time here and my training experience working in the South area, there are many of kids. And later in the video, you see me kind of talking to one of them who ends up helping us out a little bit. There are certain ways to kind of come across and start a relationship. And if the next time I saw him, like I have with many other relationships, it starts off by saying, hey, remember me? Remember the contact we had last time? Do you remember once we all calmed down, there was respect? Can you just please show some respect and we'll get through this? By having this kind of conversation with him, it starts him off down a path of communication with law enforcement. And sometimes you're not leaving it off on necessarily a positive note, but there is something taken away from it. And he took something away from this, and it could have been, yes, ultimately, once we boiled everything down, I wasn't hurt, and I was treated respectfully. And so I think the conversation I had with him was in a direction of mentorship and trying to get through to him. And unfortunately, in this situation, I don't believe I got through to him the way I wanted to. But that was the intent behind the conversation, to kind of set him up for if there is another encounter with law enforcement, he has something to base it off of.
Okay. Do you think that by using the term you are the problem with society, you are the problem with this country, do you think that could leave a long-lasting effect on this 14-year-old?
I think it could leave a long-lasting effect, and it could be positive. It could be something that could sink in and him go, you know what? Maybe all my teachers have said the same thing. Maybe my mom is saying the same thing. Maybe this is the case, and maybe I should make some changes. So it could lead to a positive effect on this kid by being a little harsh with him. Could it lead to a negative effect on this kid? It could.
During your conversation with at this point, or actually any time while he was in the backseat of your car, did he give you any indication that he was receiving your message? Any indication that he was being educated on what you intended to educate him on?
He wasn't aggressive or combative or nothing that would suggest that the situation was worsened by anything. At the end, he didn't, swear at me or cuss at me or make any other, terrible comments. So I don't know if he would have admitted if the conversation was positive on him. But there was nothing from the time I detained him to the time he was released that would indicate that his experience with me was any worse than not.
So is it fair to say you couldn't tell one way or the other whether your message was received?
Yes.
Did he give you any indication that he was actually listening to what you're saying by responding to you?
Well, he made some responses, so he was having a conversation at least.
Do you feel that making these comments, you are the problem with our society, you are the problem with our country, do you think that this could bring discredit or embarrassment upon the department?
It could.
Okay, so we're going to play from the... Do you guys need a break?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
If that's okay.
So we're going to take a break at 18:47 hours.
And we're resuming the interview at 18:56 hours.
Okay.
All right. So before we took the break, you were saying that you were trying to educate Mr. I guess let me put it this way. When we're speaking, or from your experience of speaking with a juvenile, specifically in this case a 14-year-old, sometimes do we have to break things down into simpler terms for them to understand, just based on the fact that they're young, maybe don't have as much life experience, their knowledge may not be the same as maybe that of an adult. Sometimes we have to maybe, again, simplify what we're saying and be a little more cognizant of how we explain things to them.
I think in certain circumstances, sure.
You made some direct statements as far as, I think the last statement we were just discussing is you are the problem with our society, you are the problem with our country. In your opinion, I know what your intentions were, but in your opinion, from the standpoint of a 14-year-old, would it be easier for a 14-year-old to maybe not get the message that you're trying to send without maybe a little bit more elaboration on your part? Is it, how do I say, do you feel that, with a 14-year-old, you may have to elaborate a little bit more?
Okay, so I think there's a couple questions in there. Do you want him to just answer the last question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you feel that a 14-year-old has the mental capacity to understand a term such as, you are the problem with our society, you are the problem with our country?
Yes.
So you feel that a 14-year-old understands that at face value?
When I was 14, I was in high school. I believe at 14 I would be able to understand that message, yes.
Do you think that there's other ways of explaining that making that same comment, something that might be a little bit easier for I know you say as a 14-year-old you could understand. For somebody else that may not understand, do you feel that there's other ways that you could explain the same thing and get your point across, as opposed to expecting them to understand that, which is a pretty strong comment?
Can you ask it one more time, please?
Yeah. The comments that you made, do you feel that there's another way of explaining that the meaning of it to a 14-year-old that may not have the mental capacity that you had as 14, somebody that may not get what you're saying? Do you think there's another way that you could explain to them the problems that you're trying to get across to them?
I'm sure there's another way, yes.
Do you think there's a better way?
Possibly.
Okay.
And are you asking them the context of hindsight? Okay.
Also, do I have the ability? Is that what you're asking? Do I have the ability, or does someone else have the ability?
Well, I mean, you too. Do you have the ability to actually recognize when somebody can understand something and when they can't understand something, and clarify it in a little bit easier ways to help them understand?
Sure. In this context, I believe he understood what I was saying to him, but there was not there wasn't a huge dialect back and forth, so there was no way to indicate he didn't understand or if he did.
There's a comment that you had stated, and this is why in the media officers chase people and people get hurt, and then you want to blame the officer, and then say something to the effect, so you shoot all of them. When he responded to your comment, did you feel at that moment that he was understanding what you were trying to tell him by his response?
His response to me made me think that his only level of knowledge of law enforcement is all law enforcement does is shoot. And that's why my reaction is more of like a, no. It was of course not. Of course we don't just shoot people. Now, it was kind of why we were talking about less lethal options earlier in the conversation.
His response to you, in your opinion, could that have shown that he maybe doesn't understand fully the concept or the positive information you were trying to give him at that point?
I don't know if I don't know this young man. Excuse me. I don't know what his level of education is. I don't know if he has the ability to comprehend or not. He spoke clearly when he spoke up. I can't go on. I can't say if what his level of education is. I don't know.
Okay.
Let me ask a question here. We're taking way to the end.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Did you feel it was important to respond to him after his comment about if you would shoot?
Yes.
And why did you feel that was important?
Yes, I thought it was important, and I wanted him to understand that we do not just shoot people.
Okay. I'm going to move on to 19 minutes, 25 seconds on the same video.
This is number 4?
Yes, sir.
Would you like another one? I got another set of handcuffs on me. One?
Yeah, mine's unavailable.
Oh, God.
Okay, pausing at 1945. It appears that you used your right hand and gestured and saying, "Would you like another one?" What were you referring to by another one?
There was another large group of individuals down at the In-N-Out Burger, and we're in the roadway chasing each other or doing something that caught our attention. And by another one was another person to detain and trespass due to their actions that we were observing.
And I noticed that in the video, anyway, I noticed that he had his head up against the window. Do you think he could hear this? And the distance that you were from the car, do you think he could hear what you said?
Yes.
Do you think that referring to them, whoever that was, as another one could be offensive to anyway?
Are you referring to the use of the word one, referring to another person to detain?
Yeah, another one. So are you referring, what I'm saying is, do you think that Mr. could take offense to you referring to them as another one? The people out there, the other people?
Another member of the group?
Yeah.
No.
No? And what was your purpose for saying that? Actually, let me back up. Were you saying that to Officer Lawrence?
I believe so.
And what was your purpose in saying that?
Just like I just said, another group of individuals down at In-N-Out Burger were doing something that caught our attention. Running into traffic, fighting each other, I don't remember. And it's continuing, pointing, gesturing, it's continuing. Is there another person you'd like to go detain for trespassing down that direction?
Okay, I'm going to continue the video to 20 minutes, 42 seconds.
Should let him. Hello. Okay. Come here. You're being detained for trespassing. Yeah, because we've given probably about 2 hours of announcements, and we've told everyone to go to the sidewalk and leave the property. And now and no one's listening.
We wasn't over there.
Okay.
We was over there.
I'm very sorry if you guys are getting wrapped into all this mayhem. I do apologize.
Okay.
That's why I'm being a little silly and right.
Because we thought we were
Yeah.
name over there. But that's what
We're asking everyone, and I'm sorry if you guys got wrapped up. I'm asking everyone to go to the sidewalk. Thanks, guys.
Okay, paused at 20 minutes, 42 seconds. You pull out your handcuffs and you tell them that they are being detained. Were you actually going to handcuff anybody?
No, I didn't take another step towards them.
And what was your purpose for pulling out your handcuffs?
It was more of a gesture of obviously from the video they knew that we were I've been out there for a long time, so it was a gesture to kind of solidify that, hey guys, seriously, like, we're not doing this everyone walking around thing. We're not, we're kind of at the end of this. We all need to just go out to the curb and walk away.
And in the beginning of your contact with them, were you frustrated?
No, I just walked up and said hello, and they knew why we were out there. Pulling the handcuffs was just, it stopped them, and it got their attention. It was something more that's just kind of grasp the situation, like, okay, like, we don't need to walk this way. We can go somewhere else. We can have a conversation. And it stopped. We had a conversation. And then I told them, yeah, if you guys want to walk past us and out to the street, that's not a problem.
Yeah, do you feel that contact towards the end was a positive contact, the way that they walked off and the way that you dealt with them on this instance?
Yes.
Okay. So you did pull out your handcuffs, and at one point, do you recall telling them you are detained?
Yes.
Okay. Did you change your mind after their explanation or whatever they told you?
Yes.
At that point? Okay. And what was it that they told you that made you change your mind?
They said they were not part of the original group, that they were over at In-N-Out the entire time. There's no way for me to prove one way or the other. Like I mentioned a long time ago, that when we initially got there, we were determining gang clothing, we're determining individuals that might have satchels and whatnot. And where I don't remember this individual directly, he was wearing germ season clothing, which is gang clothing. And outside of that, I couldn't place him in the group. So they were fairly sincere. They were polite. They explained kind of their direction of travel and where they're trying to get. And so we came to a compromise. Instead of them turning around and walking away, I had them walk a little bit past us and then out to the street.
In that context, in that conversation, which you described as a positive contact, did you, in the middle of that conversation, actually apologize to them for getting caught up in the mayhem?
Yes.
And why did you do that?
Because if they were truly out there just enjoying Delta Shores and getting In-N-Out Burger, and now they're getting contacted by the cops for not doing anything wrong, it's something that we need to, hey, okay, sorry, my fault, like, we're fallible just as anyone else. And if you're truly not part of this group, then we can work together. And we worked together and we solved that particular solution.
Okay, I'm playing the same video 4, 22 minutes, 20 seconds.
Hey, make sure, look at the computer, make sure that they're dialing the right number. Yep. That's your phone?
Somebody just called dispatch.
Is that 5 minutes postal maybe? 00 Charles?
Well, then who has your phone? Huh? You have it? Is it ringing right now? Why would your mom give your number?
Because the apple doesn't fall far in the tree. That's why.
What's your mom's phone?
Okay, pausing at 23 minutes, 10 seconds. You asked why his mom would give his number to dispatch, and Officer Lawrence said, because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, that's why. What do you think that Officer Lawrence meant by this comment?
Honestly, I don't know. Because it doesn't make any sense why mom would call in and give her son's contact information. Why would mom call in and be concerned about her kid and then try to deceive us or fool us or be discourteous or I don't know what I don't know what that comment meant.
And I agree with you. It is strange that she called and gave that number. However, he made this comment about the apple not falling far from the tree. That doesn't mean anything to you as when it comes to or his mom?
I know generally what that phrase is meant for. That the apple doesn't fall from the tree and the apple are connected in the same mindset or whatever. But how would mom know how her son's acting to compare one another? I don't know if Officer Lawrence was trying to say that mom is being disrespectful and fighting other juveniles. I don't know what his comparison was.
So you're not sure what he meant by because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree?
I don't know what he meant by it, and I don't know what he's comparing it to.
How did you take it?
I don't think I took it any one way or the other. I don't know if I even responded to it.
Did you take offense to his comment at all?
No.
Do you feel that he could have taken offense to it? He was in ear distance, right? He could hear everything?
Yeah.
Do you think that this could be an offensive comment?
He would have to explain the context, because truly, I don't know how that... generally speaking, that comment isn't in a positive light. I mean, that's not true.
How could that be a positive comment?
If my child grows up to be a triathlon and I'm a triathlon, and we're both, successful and well off, or if, I'm a gold medalist and my kid grows up to be a gold medalist and they're like, apples and fall far from the tree, it's positive or positive.
Okay, let's take that same context and put it in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
How is that a positive context?
It's not, and that's, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
that's why I'm trying to say I don't get the context behind it, because all mom knows, this is all, I don't know this to be true at all. I'm assuming that somebody else calls mom and says, hey, the cops have your kid. She calls in, and maybe she's just inquiring. And maybe she got confused from dispatch question and was like, oh yeah, here's my kid's phone number. And maybe it was just a mistake. So his comment where, yes, you're right, I don't see how you can get to a positive. I don't understand what his context was. So could it be construed as negative? Yes.
Okay, let's listen to it again. I want you to listen to the way he's saying it.
Okay.
And, you know,
Can we?
his voice, I want you to pay attention to his voice, kind of what you're saying to, and I want you to try to comprehend the whole situation and then explain to me how you feel about what he said.
If you're okay with it, we don't need to rewatch it.
Okay.
I would agree that it is not delivered in a positive light, and it is more delivered in a negative light. But I don't know what his intent behind it was, and I don't know what his meaning behind it was. But I can agree that it is not positive, and if we're on the positive-negative scale, it's definitely more negative.
Okay. And do you feel that by him saying the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, that he's comparing his, that Officer Lawrence is comparing mother to him?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that that's appropriate?
No.
And do you think that this would make a 14-year-old feel, you know, unintelligent or not smart?
I see how it could. It's all dependent on how the juvenile feels about his mother, because he could be very proud to be the apple that fell from her tree.
But in this context, do you feel that it could make him feel not very smart or, you know, stupid in some manner?
It could.
Okay. Do you think that that comment could affect the way that he views the police?
Yes.
Did you discuss this comment with Officer Lawrence at any time after this, after he made the comment?
No.
Do you think that this comment could bring discredit or embarrassment to the Sacramento Police Department?
It could.
Okay, I'm going to continue. 30 minutes, 10 seconds. $30 minutes, 8 seconds.
You and I are the problem, not him, according to mom. And officers pointed a gun at him last year out front of McDonald's, and that's our fault too.
Okay, pausing at 30 minutes, 30 seconds. While traveling in the patrol car, you stated, you and I are the problem, not him, according to mom, and an officer has pointed a gun at him last year in front of McDonald's, and that's our fault too. Why did you make this comment out loud in front of?
It was more of a frustrating conversation that I had with mom just prior to this, who, instead of allowing me to explain kind of the totality of the circumstances and why we were here, she spent the time on the phone screaming at me that the police, you know, kill people, and how we're the problem with everything, and how she already has a lawsuit out against SAC PD for some officer for no reason, pointing a gun at her son, and how she just demanded that I release him, and like his father was on his way, and she just screamed and screamed and screamed and screamed. And if you watch that portion of the body cam, I feel like I don't really respond. I just kind of listen and stay pretty calm. And it's frustrating to have a young man detained in your car for kind of the actions of what was going on that night. I'm trying to call a mom and say, hey, like, it's no big deal. He is detained. All he's getting is a trespass. And then for her to just, the police are evil and the police are wrong, and it's your fault, my fault, that some other random cop that I don't know, or don't know the circumstance, pointed a gun at her kid, and that instance is also my fault. And it just kind of continued for a little bit of time of just kind of getting berated on the phone. Then you get in the car, and it's just like, yes, we have this kid detained, and as a police officer, we want nothing but the best for our community, and I want the best for this kid. And that's kind of part of the conversation that we had this whole time, was trying to have a conversation, just not getting through. And then to get to the point where he's going to go home and mom is just going to validate his behavior and his contact with me, and she's going to make it worse. So I was frustrated that everything I was trying to do to make a positive impact and like talk to this kid and try to wake him up was just going to be ruined by mom when he got home, and it was frustrating.
Can I ask a clarifying question here? We hear mom on the phone, speakerphone. I believe it's prior to sometime prior to this. And we hear her on the phone. Is her tone of voice in the context of the speakerphone, is that different than when we did not hear her when she was speaking to you? And did that change, and when?
Yes, so if you watch my body cam footage of the conversation when I finally got on the phone, you can hear me being interrupted. You can't hear her on the phone, and that was my mistake by not having it on speakerphone. But you can hear me trying to get a message across or some words out, and I'm forced to stop because she's just yelling at me. And then I kind of explain briefly something along the lines of, it's no big deal, he's just getting trespassed and getting released. And then her demeanor changed and goes, fine, I want to talk to him, make sure he's okay. So I walk over to the car and I'm like, hey, can you tell your mom you're okay? And so at that point it was on speakerphone. And once she knew the outcome of the situation, once I finally was able to explain it to her, she was like, oh, okay, well, go ahead and release my kid. Like, and said something pleasant to him, like, I don't know, like maybe your auntie or uncle or somebody was coming to pick you up.
And was her tone different when she was speaking on speakerphone?
Her tone was very different. It was calm, it was clear, it was concise. While I was talking to her away from the patrol car, she was screaming almost the entire time.
Okay, and I understand your frustrations, and you made those clear. But is that something that you want to relay something to your partner, right? Is that something that you may want to speak with your partner in private instead of?
Yeah, it would have been wiser to wait until he was out of our custody.
Why is that?
If we're trying to build a good rapport, it doesn't help our case by, getting frustrated with mom and making that comment in front of him about his mother.
And do you think that this type of comment, you think is something that he might mention to his mom?
Yes.
Okay, you took the handcuffs off and advised him in the future just to listen to law enforcement. He was detained from 22:48 hours to 23:15 hours, a total of 27 minutes. Do you feel that was a reasonable time of detention for a notice of trespass?
Yes.
And what was your legal authority for detaining?
He was on Delta Shore's property amongst a group of individuals that were causing issues. When security and the businesses advised that they wanted a notice of trespass, after 30 to 90 minutes, I'm not really sure, of announcements to leave the property, and then plus being after curfew, I had a legal authority to detain him.
And did race play a role in any way in why you stopped Mr.
No.
Did Mr. commit a crime?
No. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he committed a crime.
You're not sure. Was he in violation of a crime when you detained him?
Curfew.
Okay. And he was detained in handcuffs for the purpose of giving him a notice of trespass. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that a form of an arrest?
No, he was not charged with anything.
So was he? So he was detained and he was not in custody. Is that correct?
He was detained in handcuffs in the back of my police car.
But he was not in custody.
Yes.
And did you issue a citation?
No.
Did you complete a 849B form?
He was never under arrest, so no.
Did you ever notify a sergeant and request an 849B?
No.
Did you feel that a notice of trespass was a form of a citation?
No.
Did you release to an adult?
No.
And why not?
His mother was aware of where he was, advised that a responsible was en route, and for a better part of that conversation on the phone was screaming at me and demanded that I released. And I felt in that moment that it was better for the overall relationship of this call to release him as Mom requested than for her to think I was being petty and saying, nope, gonna wait, nope, gonna wait. So I made a judgment call and thought it was the best solution, leaving him in a well-lit, well-populated area at that time.
Okay, it was 11:15 in the evening, 23:15 hours, and you released them, you said, in a well-populated, lighted area?
Yes, there's still a lot of people. In-N-Out Burgers, drive-through is still open, lots of street lights, still a lot of police officers around.
And did you write a report that detailed your contact with this juvenile, Mr. That you detained in handcuffs for 27 minutes?
I did not write a report on this.
Why?
It's fairly common when we're doing multi 602s from a single call for service in a single area for one officer to write the overall observations and state that officers detained individuals. Here's the list of the individuals that were trespassed and given a notice of trespass to. Officer Toomey advised, since it was his beat, he was a graveyard unit, that he would be the one writing that overall observations.
And did you explain to Officer Toomey that he needed to write a report explaining that you detained in handcuffs in your patrol car?
Did I explain to him that these are the circumstances?
Yeah, since you advised he was writing the report, right?
Yeah.
So did you explain to him that he needed to put that in the report, that Mr. detained in handcuffs in the backseat of your patrol car?
No, Officer Toomey observed Mr. in the back of my police car.
And did you expect Officer Toomey to write the circumstances as far as him being in handcuffs and in the backseat of the car?
It's very common for for officers to write that information, but I did not tell him that it needed to be in there.
Do you think it's important to write that a 14-year-old that was detained in handcuffs in your patrol car, is that important to put into a report?
Yes.
And whose responsibility is that overall?
Mine.
Did you write in any report that you made contact with his mother?
I did not write anything.
And how come? Why didn't you write anything on this when it comes to Mr. contact with him?
To be completely honest, I don't remember.
Okay. You don't remember why you didn't?
No.
Do you feel that Officer Toomey had all the necessary information needed to be written in a report?
Officer Toomey was aware that he was detained in handcuffs and in the backseat of my car. That he observed that. Honestly, I don't know if I was tired and frustrated and just was like, it's just a giant 602 report, which ultimately normally is not a big deal, and failed just to think of the bigger picture. I think it was just a mistake on my part to not put pen to paper and to kind of detail out a little bit, just due to how angry Mom was. Yeah.
So looking back, do you think you should have documented this?
Yes.
Did you complete a RIPA form on either one of the subjects that were detained that night?
I don't recall.
Okay, just for the record, I completed a check to make sure there was, to see if there was any RIPAs that were completed that were attached to case number 20-301-386 and 301-442, and there were none located. Also, I looked on the CAD call, and there were no notes that made reference to any RIPAs that were going to be completed. Did you feel that it was appropriate to put in handcuffs that night?
Yes.
When you did put him in handcuffs, were you trying to make a point to other people out there?
What do you mean by that?
Were you trying to make a point to the other people out there that if they don't abide by your rules, they're going to go in handcuffs too?
Are you asking if that was his sole reason for putting the handcuffs on?
Well, why don't you answer what I just asked you? Was the reason that you put in handcuffs, were you trying to make a point to the other people out there that if they don't leave like you'd said, that they're going to get handcuffs put on them as well?
I gotta clarify here, because you're asking if was that the reason? Or are you asking him if that's the only reason why?
Is that one reason?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a lot was said. That was not the reason I put him in handcuffs.
Okay.
But it. No, I'm gonna. There's no. I'm sorry. I just want to be clear.
Let's back up and we'll start over.
I did not put him in handcuffs to make a point to anyone else out there.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the other way of that question. Could you explain to us why you did put him in handcuffs?
It is extremely common that anytime anyone is detained, to put them in handcuffs for officer safety. There are circumstances in which you wouldn't, but due to the totality of the circumstances of the evening, and him making that furtive action to resist and flee, ultimately he did not. I didn't know what his ultimate actions were, so I put him in handcuffs.
Okay. We'll move on to 30 minutes, 30 seconds. And I'll stop it along the way, okay? We'll talk about certain portions of the video.
Lean forward at the waist, please. Thank you.
Okay, this is when you released him, correct?
Yes.
And you released him into it looks like you're by the street.
Yes.
Can you explain the area a little bit better of where you released him?
It is at one of the main entrances into Delta Shores. It's just outside of the In-N-Out Burger.
Okay, so it wasn't on the property of Delta Shores. It was actually on the sidewalk or something?
Yeah, it was, yes.
Okay. Okay, starting the video at 33:33. Check that back to 33:20. 33:18.
Timmy's over there with his solids. Yeah, this whole fucking group.
You guys need to go to the curb. Go out to the street right now. Alright? If I see you guys back in here, you're going to get detained. And if I get attitude, it's going to get quicker. Who's faster, you or me?
Okay, paused at 33:53. While you guys are driving around, you contact another group and advise them to go to the curb. Is that correct?
Yes.
And it appears that you got out of your car and you started walking towards them and you said, "Who's faster, you or me?" What did you mean by that?
Once we pulled up and I got out of the car, they quickly made this, which would be their left-hand turn down this walkway to avoid me. And it was a comment of, "Are you guys going to start running from me or not?" Or more or less.
Are you going to start running?
Um,
They're trying to avoid me, is what.
but what does "who's faster, you or me"? What's that have to do with the fact that they may take off running?
Do they think they can outpace me or not?
And why did you say that?
To see if they were going to run or not.
Was it to prompt them to run?
If they ran out of the complex, that would have been great, but it wasn't to prompt them to run.
And is trespassing something that you would normally chase somebody for?
No.
Do you recognize the subject to the left? Actually, in the center of the screen, he's got a black sweatshirt. Looks like dark colored pants, white and dark colored shoes. Do you recognize that subject?
That, I believe, is the subject that Officer Lawrence ends up detaining.
Okay, and for the record, that is. When you walked past him, was he trying to avoid you in any way? I can play the video in a second here.
I walked right past him.
You walked right past him, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, was he trying to avoid you or try to get away from you or anything?
I don't know.
I wasn't attempting to just talk to him or do anything to him, so he would have no reason to try to avoid me.
And what was the reason that you just walked right past him and you focused on the other subjects that are walking near that building?
I think one of them, if I recall correctly, was one that I had talked to earlier in the night that was just doing this milling about, not leaving. And so I was more targeting one that I had dealt with previously, and
Okay.
I didn't recognize.
And did he say anything to you as you walked past him?
Not that I recall.
Okay. I'm going to continue the video to 34:27.
Who's faster?
Okay, pause at 34 minutes, 27 seconds. Can you tell me what occurred between Officer Lawrence and subject?
I don't know what their conversation was, and I don't know the reason for his detention at the time of this. We had a conversation later, and I believe he said something like he goes to contact him. They have, I don't know if they have words or not, I don't remember, but he then goes like, "Hey, come here," puts his hands on him, and then like pulls away from Officer Lawrence. But when I turn around, all I see is him pulling away from Officer Lawrence and Officer Lawrence trying to gain control of him.
Okay, so did you see anything that prompted Officer Lawrence to grab the subject?
No.
And do you know why he's attempting to grab the subject?
I'm assuming, well, what I was assuming back then
Okay.
was something occurred and he still wasn't listening to the dispersal orders. And he was like, "Okay, well, you're going to be detained and trespassed." I think that's what I was assuming at the time.
So your thought was that he was detaining him to give him a notice to trespass?
Well, I don't know why he was trying to detain him. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what the contact was for. I don't know if he then saw a weapon. I don't know if he took a fighting stance. I didn't know any of this at that time. I just knew that they were going hands-on for some kind of reason and going to the ground.
Okay. And do you recall saying anything when you guys were taking him to the ground to put him in handcuffs?
No, I mean, you can kind of hear him say something. Maybe like, "What are you doing?" Or I'm not certain what he says. He does say something when we're on the ground with him.
Do you recall Officer Lawrence saying anything to the subject or talking to him? I know you just watched the video, but is there anything specific that you recall him saying to him as he's going to the ground and as you guys are trying to put handcuffs on him?
He says something for sure.
Okay. Do you recall what it was?
I'd have to rewatch. Was it?
Let's rewatch.
Yeah, it's rewatch.
Okay, starting at 34:02.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What the hell are you doing? I think is what I heard.
Yeah, did you hear him say something to the effect of, "Why did you pull away from me?" Or "What are you doing pulling away from me?" Something to that effect?
Something to that effect.
Okay. So you didn't know at the time why he was detaining him, but after you spoke with him, do you know why he was detaining him?
I don't believe I spoke to him until he was released, and we were headed back to the station.
And what did he tell you then? What did Officer Lawrence tell you why he was detaining that day?
I believe it was. I don't recall our conversation. I don't recall our exact conversation. I don't want to speculate.
And when it comes to force and the force that was used to take into or to detain Slade, was this force used consistent with what Sergeant Fox was telling you not to do?
I don't think that this level of force rose to the let's not use crazy amounts of force.
Did you see kick, bite, punch, either one of you? At either one of you?
There's 3 officers in there right now, I believe, and I don't believe I ever saw him try to do any of those things to any of the 3.
What was he doing?
When I first turned around and saw it, he was actively trying to pull away from Officer Lawrence, and Officer Lawrence basically had him by an arm. And then it appeared that he rushed him towards the patrol car and was trying to gain compliance with him. And then I don't know if it was by intent to take him to the ground or if it was by happenstance. They all go to the ground, and that's kind of when I get there, and I think I control his legs or put pressure on his back hips or something like that.
What was your interpretation at the time on actions by pulling away from Officer Lawrence? How did you interpret that?
When I turned around and all I saw was somebody that was resisting some level of detention. Like I said, I don't know what his initial reason for the contact was, so he could have been under arrest at that point. I don't know. And so all I saw was this young man actively resisting.
Based on your experience, when subjects pull away from officers, what are their intentions that based on your experience, what if subjects that are pulling away from officers, what are they trying to do?
They're either trying to flee or they're trying to get a better position or advantage to attack.
Okay.
Did you or Officer Lawrence use any department trained techniques to take to the ground?
It appeared Officer Lawrence was trying to put him into a like a rear wrist lock or a control hold. It didn't look very effective. Once I got there, I don't know who the other officer was, but they had both of his arms, and I just kind of applied a little bit of pressure to him. But the handcuffing was fine, and I didn't see any other force applied.
Okay, so it looked like he was grabbing a wrist of some sort, some type of control hold, and all you remember is them going to the ground, and then you went up and provided control of his feet.
It looks like from the video
Okay.
that I just maybe applied pressure to like the back part of his legs so he can't kick.
Okay. And once on the ground, it appears that you took out either a taser or a bowler wrap that had a laser on it. Is that accurate?
It was a taser.
It was a taser. And what was the purpose of doing this?
When we went to the ground, you can hear in my body-worn camera some sort of crowd getting excited, and there were several people that were running from in and out over to us. So I pulled my taser out, turned the lights on, and to get them to back away from us so we could effect this detention or arrest.
Okay, and were there other officers also around that were providing security as well?
Yes, and then I believe 2 other officers walked up and deployed their batons and stood between us and the crowd that was starting to form.
Okay.
Was there more officers or more subjects?
Subjects.
Okay. Approximately how many subjects?
Sorry,
It's
I'm not
okay.
sure done my apologies. Go ahead.
Approximately how many subjects did you feel were rushing towards the officers at this time?
I don't really remember because there were some people that were in and out eating, but that weren't involved. And then there was a group that was more off to the left, out of sight from my body cam. So maybe there was like 5 or 6 that were actually rushing us, but there was more people in the vicinity.
When you said deployed baton, did you mean bring the baton out, or did you mean bring the baton out and actually use it to strike individuals?
It's a collapsible baton, and so they extended the baton and held it at what kind of we refer to as like a ready position. So
Yeah, port arm of some sort, I think it was. So, and that's basically to get people to see that you have that out and to keep them back. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Did you feel that it was appropriate from where you were at during this incident? Did you feel it was appropriate to take to the ground at that point?
Like I said, I don't know why he went hands-on. Like he could have seen a gun in his back waistband that I missed walking past him. There could have been something that happened very, very briefly in the moment. All I knew was Officer Lawrence made the decision to go hands-on, and that for officer safety, I was going to assist him in safely detaining this individual.
Yeah, is it common for you to trust your partner's judgment when detaining people?
Yes.
And if they're in some sort of struggle, is it your duty to assist them?
Yes.
Do you feel that Officer Lawrence used an appropriate amount of force on?
Yes.
Do you feel that he was taking into custody?
I don't recall what I thought at that moment.
When a subject is struggling away from the police, are you detaining them, or ultimately are you taking them into custody?
Normally custody.
In this instance, do you recall what it was? Was he taking them into custody?
Yes.
Did Officer Lawrence use profanity while dealing with?
Yes.
Do you feel that that was appropriate?
No.
Did you or Officer Lawrence check to make sure that he didn't need any medical care?
Right after the handcuffs went on, I got up to go address the crowd, and so I did not determine if he was injured or not.
Do you recall him having any type of complaint of pain or being injured in any way?
No, and then later on when we ended up releasing him, he didn't complain about anything to me. I didn't hear him make any comments. There was no visible injury that I saw, and there was no like limping or sore or anything like that when he walked away from us.
And when he was detained in handcuffs in the back of the car, was he in custody?
Yes.
And what was he in custody for?
My interpretation would have been, well, this was Officer Lawrence's decisions, but he delayed, resisted a detention, so 148 at the minimum.
Okay. So you believe that, do you believe that Officer Lawrence had legal ground to detain?
Yes.
After he was detained and put in the back of the patrol car, what did Officer Lawrence do?
Only because I watched my body cam, I remember seeing him sitting in the passenger seat of the patrol car, but I don't know what he was doing.
Did you speak with him after he was detained, prior to releasing him?
No.
Did Officer Lawrence complete a citation?
I don't recall.
Did you or Officer Lawrence complete a 602 form on?
Yes.
Who did it?
Officer Lawrence.
And did either one of you advise a sergeant that you took a subject to the ground?
I did not.
You did not. Did Officer Lawrence?
I do not know.
Is it appropriate to advise a sergeant when you get into a physical confrontation with a subject?
Yes.
Did you or Officer Lawrence get injured during this incident, taking him to the ground?
No.
All right. Okay, this is body worn camera 5. It's your body worn camera. It's 2020-10-11. TTOM 06:35:310. Axon body 2 X-ray 81012289. Okay, I'm going to play the body worn camera from 22 seconds to 1 minute 30 seconds. All right, 21 seconds.
Yeah, Sergeant, it's been obviously a while, even this evening, since we watched this video, since it's only 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Do you mind if we just watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, we'll start it from the beginning, and just note that the first 30 seconds will be with no verbal. Starting at 00. Just for the record, I'm going to pause it at 1 minute 30 seconds.
Thank you.
Go ahead and step out and walk to the front of my car, please. Just step out my tire. Okay, how long were we here for? Well, on the fly slow, I have mouths on the bed of the buttons. And we were given very
Yeah,
loud.
y'all was getting loud, though. I was in and out and all that.
I know, but when we asked you guys to leave and you start doing this,
I was trying to leave.
no, when leave is start walking, and then when I look at you and say, come on, man, you go, what? And then I grab you, and then you try to fucking pull away, that's how you end up on the ground. And you're not getting charged with anything, you're getting a notice of trespass. But the shitty thing is that you cannot step foot back on this entire shopping center ever again.
You know that you just fought a cop, which we could just... You did, because you resisted.
Yeah.
We could just take you to juvie for that.
I don't get...
Okay, paused at 1 minute 30 seconds. You said something to the effect of, you know, you just fought a cop, which we could just said, I didn't fight. Then you replayed, you did. You resisted. We could take you to juvie for that. Was that the case? Did it actually fight you guys?
Yes, he resisted.
So is resisting and fighting the same?
It can be.
In this situation, by Slade pulling away from Lawrence, was he fighting you and Officer Lawrence?
Well, I think that there's a high likelihood that if you would have broken free, the odds of him fighting were higher. So it's hard to say was he fighting or not, because he could have been actively fighting just on a defensive or unbalanced platform.
And you just basically kind of explained it. Had he broken free, the likelihood that he would have fought would have been greater, correct?
Yes, it would have been greater. It would have either been fight or run. Those are kind of the options.
But during the interaction with them, did he actively fight you? By that I mean, did he punch, kick, bite, any type of physical aggression towards you guys other than resist?
No, under that, no.
So would that be an incorrect statement to him that you actually fought the police?
Well, I think our definitions are a little different. My interpretation is he fought us. I think the active resistance from an officer where we have to go hands-on like that, to me that's fighting, because the likelihood that I can get injured by just simply going to the ground and hurting my knee, my elbow. I have a cut on my elbow right now from something very, very similar that happened 2 weeks ago. So in my opinion, he fought us.
So in your opinion, resisting is fighting?
Yes, in this context, yes. If we have to go to the ground and it takes that much energy and effort and 3 officers to get you into handcuffs, that is a fight. Grappling is fighting.
And you, could you have actually taken him to juvenile hall for this?
For a 148 standalone, you could call and juvenile hall will take.
And what crime did he just commit?
148.
And so, in your words, he fought you guys. Do you think it's appropriate to release a juvenile for fighting you?
It's a misdemeanor, and we have discretion over that. And trying to have a conversation and trying to build some kind of rapport. Officer Lawrence says, actually I don't even remember which one of us said it, but it's like, you just fought us, and we're not even going to charge you for that. We're just going to give you notice of trespass. All of this is not worth what just happened. It's if you just listen to us, nothing's going to happen. But you just put yourself in a position, and I don't even know if this kid had a record or not, to get a record, to go to the hall, to have a really poor evening because you made one poor decision. It's not worth it. So I think due to discretion, Officer Lawrence decided not to cite him, not to take him to juvenile hall, and just give him a notice of trespass.
Okay. I'm going to just continue the video all the way to the end.
Perfect. And then while you're doing that, after watching this video, I want to clarify, do you recall actually speaking to Mr. after he was detained?
Yes, now that I watched this, I did speak to him.
Okay. Noted.
This shit about that. Going to the ground and fucking tussling is not a big deal to me. This sucks more for you. That's why we dropped you off right here.
You can be on the sidewalk.
That's why, when I get on the announcement and I've been here for 2 hours and I'm saying, please leave, over and over.
We're not playing because the businesses are calling us.
Yeah.
We're not here because we want to ruin your fun. The businesses are calling us, telling us, hey, they're destroying our business. The movie theater closed 2 hours early.
They closed at 11.
So we have to come out here and do something. That's what people don't understand. We have to come out here and move you off the property. I know it's shitty, man, but we got to find a way for you guys to listen to us.
And I don't know whoever the big man over there was, dude, maybe the one adult in this entire fucking group.
Andre?
Is that who it was? We finally got everybody to comply with us and move to the street. And look, it's fucking peaceful here now.
And I know, you know Andre. You know Andre, right?
Back up. Everything can open back up. The movie theater shut down an hour and a half early because you guys were outside. Not saying you were fighting, but a very large portion of you guys were fighting. That's fucking stupid, man.
And the reason he finally started helping out is because he knows me. For the last 3 knows that we have mutual respect. So when I tell him, hey man, we have to get you guys off, he goes, oh shit, okay, makes sense. Hey everyone, leave. So, sorry.
Please, my card, please. Down right side. That is your copy of the notice.
Mom was gonna call it too.
Is she your right? Okay. Please do not step back on the Delta Shores. If you think you're contacted by the police, we'll go straight to juvenile hall.
Completed with the video at 3 minutes 43 seconds. Did you hear Officer Lawrence use profanity throughout this conversation with?
Yes.
Do you feel that this is appropriate?
No.
Do you feel that it's professional?
No.
Now it's 11:39 in the PM, and you are releasing outside of Delta Shores, correct?
Yes.
And did you ensure that who is a minor was released to a parent or guardian?
I don't recall this information, but I just said your mom was contacted, so I don't remember if Lawrence told me that or how I knew that, but apparently Officer Lawrence reached out and got a hold of Mom.
Did Mom show up?
I don't know.
You don't recall?
No.
Did you or Officer Lawrence cite for a crime?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Did you release him? Did you complete a 849B and release?
No.
Did you or Officer Lawrence contact Sergeant to have an 849B form completed and released?
Not that I'm aware of.
And why is this?
Kind of like I mentioned earlier, I don't know what Officer Lawrence did and didn't do during that time. I'm outside talking to the other like 5 or 6 officers out there, and I don't even remember when or why he said, okay, let's go. So during that time, I don't know if he made phone calls. I don't know if he, what he didn't do.
You do agree that he was in custody, correct?
Yes.
And if you're not giving someone a citation for a crime, what is the appropriate way to have them released?
849B.
And that did not occur?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Do you feel that you represented the department in a positive manner in this call, during this call?
Yes.
If you had a chance to go back and change some of the things on this call, what would you change?
And I'm going to note that you're asking him to look back in hindsight as in that question, correct?
That's correct. So if you could change some of the ways that you acted on this call, or that you felt you could have done better, what would those be?
I think I would have started off by having Sergeant Fox come out, have the supervisor on hand to monitor the situation, bounce ideas off him further, coordinate with the team a little bit better, determine, what the actual end goal was, and if we should just walk away from the situation entirely. If not, then how to do this as safely as possible. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into a lot of things, but having a different level of conversation with the young man that I detained, trying to relate to him on a better level, have a better level of conversation with him to see if we can have more of an open dialogue. Probably try to talk to Mom a little bit longer on the phone, see if I could have got through to her to, make sure that responsible adult was going to come pick him up, even though she said they're on their way. If I could have gotten to that point in the conversation where I thought it would have been better to sit with him and wait. After that, I think like kind of reassessing, regathering like troops or the team and go, okay, what do we have now? We have, how many people do we have left? We're just going to allow this to happen because now the main group, the main problem is gone, even though all the businesses are closed. They can't destroy or they can't prevent revenue if the businesses are closed. So then why not keep them here? Doesn't really matter at that point, I think. And then kind of debriefing with the rest of the team to see what everyone has, what everyone's responsibilities are. Determining, or calling Sarge and saying, hey, this is what happened. This is the whole totality of the circumstances. This is what we're thinking. Do you agree with this? Do you not? Should we do more? Should we do less? I think we should have written more paper. Maybe cite and release the kid for the 148 just to have that on paper, just in case he comes back with a complaint of pain. It's at least documented. I think the totality of the circumstances, we weren't even thinking 849B, we were thinking 602. I think our mindset got shifted to the bigger picture instead of the isolated incident. I think there's a lot of things we can learn from this, and I think there's a lot of things that I can take back to my patrol team now and, grow and have people learn from my mistakes.
Okay. Are you aware of any social media surrounding this event and your encounter with Mr. or Mr.?
I was aware that soon after, maybe a day or so after, I don't know if it was Mr. mother or mother's associate, posted a bunch of hateful things on social media directly about Officer Lawrence. I don't believe my name was even mentioned, and I think the only reason she had Lawrence's info was from the 602. But there was some like white supremacy stuff, I believe. But I never sought it out, and I know I saw a picture, but I didn't read anything more about it.
So you don't recall what the message was from her? It just had some hateful items and possibly some white supremacy?
If I remember correctly, the photo I saw was of like a tattooed back or something. I don't even know if that's correct. But no, I don't remember what the actual text was or the message.
Do you remember what social media it was on? Was it Instagram, Facebook?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Give her this. And can you, unless you have anything else?
No.
Can you please turn to General Order 210-04? It's General and Professional Conduct. And
General.
yeah, 210-04.
Okay, pass it.
And read aloud the highlighted sections, please.
So just read it verbatim? All the
Yeah,
sections?
just the highlighted sections.
Policy. It shall be the policy of the Sacramento Police Department to ensure exemplary conduct of department employees, both on and off duty, and in keeping with the standards of the city charter, civil service rules and regulations, and established labor agreement. Professional conduct, all employees on and off duty shall be governed by ordinary and reasonable rules of good conduct and behavior. B, not commit any acts, whether negligent, intentional, criminal, or otherwise, that could bring where I just left off. Could bring discredit upon the department or the city. Employees shall serve the public by direction
counsel and an example that does not interfere with the discharge of their police responsibilities. They shall respect and protect the right of all individuals and perform their services with honesty and integrity. Not speak slightly or express humiliating discourtesy or degradation. I can't read today.
Go ahead, take your time.
Degrading comments to or engage in any harassing behaviors towards any person. Employees shall refrain from the use of profanity when contacting the public in the performance of the official duties. Courteously and accurately provide all appropriate information upon request. Respectfully provide their name, badge number, and or identification number upon request. Impartially serve all persons coming to the attention of the department.
Do you feel that you obeyed or violated this general order?
And before I answer that question, I'm going to object. This question calls for a legal conclusion, which takes into consideration facts, circumstances, which may or may not be known to Officer Lundgren at this time, and a whole interpretation of your entire investigation, which obviously we're still here, so not even completed yet. With that in mind, obviously he's here in order to answer your question, but I want the objection noted for the record that it calls for legal conclusion.
Objection noted. Go ahead and answer.
Yes.
And can you explain why you feel that?
I use profanity. I mean, that's just one that breaks the general order.
Do you feel that your behavior throughout the call could bring discredit upon the department?
It could.
Do you feel that the way you were speaking at times during the call could be discourteous?
Yes.
Can you please turn to General Order 340.01, Report Quality Control? And for the record, will that objection be applied to all of the general orders, sir?
Yes, can I have a standing objection?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I won't repeat them, but I will object to every one of those questions.
Just read the highlighted section, please.
Policy. It shall be the policy of the Sacramento Police Department that police report meet the highest professional standard and reflect as thorough investigation as circumstances allow. Responsibilities. Officer employees assigned reporting responsibilities shall conduct a thorough investigation to all incidents or events and determine whether a report is necessary. Prepare a complete and accurate police report detailing the facts of their investigation. Ensure the thoroughness of the investigation, the accuracy of the police report.
By failing to document the facts and circumstances regarding this detention of Mr. Do you feel that you obeyed or violated this general order?
At the time of the event, having the mindset that it was just a 602, no. After reviewing this information, yes.
Can you please turn to General Order 527.05, Preliminary Investigations, and read aloud the highlighted sections?
Same objection.
Thank you.
Can we just agree or disagree if there's a violation or not, instead of reading all of them?
I'm going to have you read those, the highlighted sections.
Can we take a break so I can use the restroom?
Absolutely.
We'll be taking a break at 20:13 hours. All right, we're back on the record at 2016 hours.
Okay, 525.05, Preliminary Investigations. Please read aloud the highlighted sections.
Policy. That officers assigned to the Office of Operation continue preliminary investigations to the point where delay in the investigation would not merely jeopardize the investigation. B. Officers shall conduct a thorough investigation to conclude 1. Establishing a violation of law. 2. Thorough identification and interviews of all victims, witnesses, and responsible parties. 3, collection and preservation of any evidence. 4, taking appropriate enforcement actions. CA, report shall be accurate and complete during the work shift. Submit for supervisor review and approval. Where a report is associated with an arrest, it shall be submitted to the supervisor before going home.
Thank you. In respect to not accurately documenting that was handcuffed and detained in a patrol car, do you feel that you obeyed or violated this general order?
Well, I want to clarify. There's a difference between having a report and not him writing a report and then not being accurate and then not writing a report. So I want to make sure we're all on the same page here. You're not saying he wrote an inaccurate report. That's not what you're asking, correct?
I don't think I asked that.
Okay.
Did you document your interaction with?
I'd like to say that we don't document all detentions and handcuffs. So at the time of the event, I did not think documentation was necessary.
Okay. At the time.
Per this investigation and per what I'm being told, I believe that I violated the general order.
Okay. Let's move on to 602 PC, trespassing. And read aloud the highlighted sentence.
Except as provided in subdivision U, V, and X in section 602.8, every person who willfully commits a trespass by any of the following acts is guilty of a misdemeanor.
In regards to what you just read, were both subjects that were detained that evening technically in violation of 602K PC?
602K?
Yeah, 602K.
Should be on the next page.
There you go. Sorry, I couldn't read that.
Entering any land, whether unenclosed or enclosed by fence, for the purpose of injuring any property or property rights, or when the intention or interfering with, obstructing or injuring any lawful business or occupation carried by the owner of the land, the owner's agent, or the person in lawful possession.
So, in regards to what you just read, were those subjects that you detained that evening, were they in violation of 602K PC?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you turn to 835 PC, arrest, and read aloud the highlighted sections? Is there something? What happened?
Nothing. Just checking my watch.
Okay.
I just got a phone call. 835A. The legislator finds and declares all of the following. 1, that the authority to use physical force the authority to use physical force conferred on police officers by this section is a serious responsibility that shall be exercised judiciously and with respect for human rights and the dignity and for the sanctity of every human life. The legislature further finds and declares that every person has a right to be free from excessive use of force by officers acting under the color of law. 3, that the decision by a police officer to use force shall be evaluated carefully and thoroughly in a manner that reflects the gravity of the authority and the serious consequences of the use of force by peace officers in order to ensure that officers use force consistent with the law and agency policy. 4, that the decision by a peace officer to use force shall be evaluated from the perspective of a reasonable officer in the same situation based on the totality of the circumstances known to be perceived by the officer at the time,
rather than with the benefit of hindsight, and that the totality of the circumstances shall account for occasions when officers may be forced to make quick judgments about using force. B. Any peace officer who has reasonable cause to believe that a person to be arrested has committed a public offense may use objective reasonable force to effect the arrest to prevent escape or overcome resistance.
Thank you. With respect to that penal code, do you feel that either were arrested that evening?
I would say would have been under arrest.
Okay, thank you. Please turn to General Order 5802, use of force, and read aloud the highlighted sections.
Shall be the policy of the Sacramento Police Department that officers value and preserve the sanctity of human life at all times. Officers shall use only the amount of force necessary under the circumstance presented that the officer reasonably believes is required. Officers are expected to use de-escalation techniques when reasonably possible and without increasing the risk of harm to officers or others in an effort to reduce or eliminate the use of force. When using force, officers shall continuously reassess the perceived threat to select the reasonable use of force response. When making use of force decisions, officers should be mindful that subjects may be physically or mentally incapable of responding to police commands due to a variety of circumstances, including but not limited to alcohol, drugs, mental impairment, medical conditions, or language and cultural barriers. Reportable use of force. Any use of force that causes injury as defined above, any use of force, whether or not it results in injury involving the discharge of a firearm, a canine bite, or use of an impact weapon, chemical agents, carotid restraint, or CED, and any use of force, whether or not it results in injury that deviates from the techniques taught and the equipment provided by the department. Force shall be used in compliance with Penal Code Section 835A, which states any peace officer who has reasonable cause to believe that a person to be arrested has committed a public offense may use reasonable force to effect the arrest, to prevent escape, or overcome resistance. When reasonable under the totality of the circumstances and where it may be accomplished without increasing the risk of harm to officers or others, officers should attempt to de-escalate situations. De-escalation techniques include, but are not limited to, gathering information about the incident, assessing risk, gathering resources, personal and equipment, using time, distance, cover, using crisis intervention techniques in communicating and coordinating a response.
Thank you. Do you feel that you or your partner, Officer Lawrence, that evening obeyed or violated this use of force policy?
It's kind of a combined question. You have two people and obeyed or violated. You want to break those down so we're all on the same page?
I think it was pretty clear, but did you violate this policy in any way?
No.
Do you feel that your partner violated this policy?
No.
Do you feel that the use of force that was used that evening rose to the level of a reportable use of force?
No.
Are you and your partner responsible for incidents that you work on a call together? Are you both responsible for reporting if it was a reportable use of force on a call?
If I believe that force was applied?
Yeah, if your partner uses force, are you just as responsible as he is in reporting the use of force?
No, I think the person that applied the force is more responsible in reporting the force. I think it's both of our responsibilities to acknowledge the force was used. Did that answer your question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Unless you have,
Just let me look real quick.
yeah. Can you please turn to General Order 523.06, release under 849B, PC, and read aloud the highlighted sections.
Policy. That persons arrested and determined releasable under the provisions of California Penal Code 849B be released pursuant to the procedure described in this order and provisions of 851.6 PC are met. 2. A certificate of release, SPD 138, shall be completed when a person arrested has been determined releasable under the provision of California Penal Code 849B, 849B PC. Release intended by officer. 1. All releases of 849B arrests shall be provided by a sworn supervisor. Release of arrested persons not booked or cited shall follow the provisions of 849B PC. An incident must be made in the appropriate box in the SPD 138.
Do you feel that either subject that was detained that night was under arrest?
The time, no.
Okay, looking further afterward, do you feel that either one of the subjects detained that night were under arrest?
I believe the second one was.
And do you feel that this general order was obeyed by not issuing a 849B for the second subject?
No, it was not.
And whose responsibility is that to do an 849B?
The arresting officer,
And that would be,
Officer Lawrence.
okay. Please turn to Notice of Trespass, SPD 114. Please read those highlighted section.
Sacramento City Code Section 9.16.140, parens B, parens 1, trespass on private property or business, business premises shall be it should be unlawful for any person to enter or remain upon any private property or business premises after have been notified by the owner or agent to keep away therefrom. Such notification shall be provided by service of notice of trespass on such person. California Penal Code Section 602K, trespass upon private property. Every person commits a trespass, a misdemeanor, if they enter any lands, fences, or not for the purpose of injuring any property or with the specific intent of interfering, obstructing, or injuring the lawful business carried on this permission. Any violation of these sections is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 6 months in jail and or a fine.
Were either of the subjects you detained that evening in violation of 602K of the Penal Code?
So wasn't that asked when he read 602K previously?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, they're in violation of trespassing or issued a notice.
Okay, thank you. Were either of the subjects arrested for the Sacramento City Code 9.16.140B1?
No.
And did you issue both subjects, or did you or your partner issue both subjects notice of trespass?
Yes.
Okay. We have 3 more. Can you turn to General Order 540.05? It's booking, releasing juveniles, and read aloud the highlighted sections.
Policy. It shall be the policy of the Sacramento Police Department to extend recognized protections that balance both the needs of community and the rights of juvenile offenders. Definition: juvenile, any person under the age of 18 years. Misdemeanor. 2. When cite and release applies, officers shall release a juvenile offender only to a responsible adult, e.g. parent, guardian, legal custodian, relative. Contact parent or guardian. The responding officer shall ask the appropriate adult to pick up the juvenile offender, obtain an ETA, and forward that information to radio.
Thank you. Do you feel that you obeyed or violated this general order?
I think the only thing we didn't do was inform radio.
Can you please turn to General Order 210-05? It's bias-based policing, and read aloud the highlighted sections.
Purpose: to provide law enforcement service and to enforce the law equally and fairly without discrimination towards any individuals or group. Policy: it shall be the policy of the Sacramento Police Department that officers conduct stops, detain, search, and or arrest persons only in accordance with established law, legal, and ethical guidelines, and department recognized training standards, and in a manner that is free from improperly biased racial, cultural, or discriminatory intention. The detention, interdiction, or disparate treatment of any persons based on their race, ethnic background, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, religious, economic status, disability, age, or cultural background, or based on a person's association with a person or group with one or more of the foregoing actions or perceived characteristics is strictly prohibited. The department will thoroughly investigate complaints off basis of bias-based policing. Definition: bias-based policing: the differential treatment of individuals in the context of rendering police services based solely on a circumstance such as race, ethnic background, nationality, gender identity, sexual orientation, religion, economic status, disability, age, or cultural background based on a person's association with a person or group with one or more of the foregoing or perceived characteristics. Bias-based policing may also be defined as a police action based on the assumption or belief that any of the aforementioned classifications have a tendency to participate or engage in criminal behaviors. Racial profiling: the practice of detaining a suspect based on a broad set of criteria that casts suspicion on an entire class of people without any specific or any individualized suspicion of the particular person being stopped. Penal Code 13519.4E. Bias-based policing:
and the practice of racial profiling will not be tolerated by this department. While the practice of racial profiling is strictly prohibited, it is recognized that race and ethnicity may be legitimately considered by an officer in combination with other legitimate factors to establish probable cause or reasonable suspicion, e.g., suspect description is limited to a specific race or group. Officer must be able to articulate specific facts, circumstances, and conclusions that support probable cause or reasonable suspicion for any non-consensual detention and or search and seizure as applicable. During a contact, misunderstanding may occur from an officer's failure to explain while contact was made. The officer should inform the detainee of the reason of the contact if it will not compromise the safety of the officer or other persons in the investigation. Nothing in this order shall limit an officer's ability to interview witnesses or discourage routine conversation or consensual conduct with citizens. An employee of the Sacramento Police Department who has knowledge of or has any information about conduct that would amount to a violation of this order shall report that information as directed in General Order 220.05, disciplinary actions.
Do you feel that you obeyed or violated this general order?
I believe I obeyed it.
Please turn to General Order 210-09, Racial and Identity Profiling Act, and read aloud the highlighted sections.
Policy. It shall be the policy of the Sacramento Police Department to collect and report data to the California Department of Justice in accordance with RIPA, R-I-P-A, which requires officers to complete an entry for each individual detained or searched during a call for service or self-initiative activity. General Department personnel shall complete with RIPA reporting requirements. Responsibilities. Officers shall complete a RIPA entry for every individual detained and or searched. Only one RIPA entry is required for each detainee. Complete the RIPA entire entities by end of watch. Ensure the RIPA button in the MDT is pressed for every entry that will be made. Advise dispatch over the radio when RIPA entry will be made if an MDT is not available. Email PSU when the RIPA button is pressed inadvertently.
By failing to complete RIPA forms on the subjects you detained that evening, do you feel that you obeyed or violated this general order?
I was unaware that RIPAs were not attached to this call.
Are you responsible for RIPA forms for subjects that you detained?
Yes.
Did you violate or did you obey this general order?
Violate.
Anything else? Brett, you have anything else?
No.
All right, is there anything else relating to this matter which we have not covered that needs to be added, clarified, or changed? If so, I'm ordering you to provide that information now.
I apologize. Did you say order you to what?
To provide that information now.
No.
Okay. After you leave this interview, should you remember anything that is different from or in addition to the information that you've given today, I'm ordering you to contact Sergeant Villegas immediately. I'm also ordering you not to discuss this matter with any other department employee. Do you understand these orders?
I do.
Okay, concluding the interview at 20:41 hours.